Flurry would destroy Ice, man. It's not even a contest.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It bugs me so much because it's the collector side of comics. This guy had a whole stack of 25 of them, which was pretty much almost the
Oh.
entire stock.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Panels on Pages. My name is Dalibor Zujovic. I am the indie hype man, and today I am joined by Thomas Moran of Fate Comics and now something else. So today we're going to be having a very interesting conversation. How you doing, Thomas?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Excited to have this chat. I saw some logos change on the Facebook pages. I was like, whoa, 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 what's happening? So let's get right into it, man. Right towards the end of the year, 2025, going into 26, I saw your logo switch over to the Unparalleled Comics logo. Give us the skinny, man. What's going on?
So, Fate Comics is now under the Unparalleled Comics imprint. We Fate Comics is still, we still have Harrier Beats, all our main titles, but now we're underneath Unparalleled.
Gotcha. And I recognized Unparalleled because I backed a couple of their campaigns before. So I was like, okay, this could be a good move for everybody. What exactly prompted this?
So it started in somewhere in October, November. I was really wanting to in 2026 to really push something forward. And it was more like I wanted to do more than just superheroes. I wanted to do more than this, and they're like, "Hey, you know, we'd love to have your books on this side. Be able to help market this Kickstarters, this that." And that would take a lot of stuff that I was already doing, like out of my hands. And altogether, it's better for us in the St. Louis region um, to work together as a self-publishing unit instead of everybody doing it by themselves.
For sure. So I didn't realize they were also local to St. Louis. That's awesome. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. Keeping it close to home. Keeping it close to home.
Oh
So
yeah.
the variety of titles now has gone from you've got a few superhero titles on your end, and
Yep.
now we have this. At least as far as I know, I know the kind of it's like superhero adjacent, but it's much more like a military kind of intrigue, super spy kind of stuff, right?
Uh, yeah. They do have a few superheroes. About one or two that I can name off the top of my head currently. But they also got a sci-fi fantasy,
Hmm.
and they got that, and they have one coming it's kind of a crazy story about like rockers and sharks, and it's crazy.
Okay.
But no, it's a lot more variety now, and that's kind of when we talked about it and had meetings and stuff, and that's kind of what we wanted to is, hey, not everybody's into superhero books, so having this variety going forward is going to be huge.
Excellent. And that gives you, I presume you said you wanted to do some different stuff. So this gives you an opportunity to work under established titles and just kind of stretch your wings a little bit.
Yeah, I've already pitched one in December. Haven't heard back yet, but it's something that I wanted to move forward on, is be able to try to outreach to publishers and see if one of them takes it. But I also am still pushing titles out with, from Fate Comics. Like Beats is still aimed right now on releases probably late February. So that
Okay.
still is moving forward along with everything else.
Excellent. That's going to be issue 3, correct?
Issue two.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Yeah, we had a
You mean,
we had a big delay with our Kickstarter. We wanted it out in October, but there was a lot of moving pieces that didn't quite connect. So had to keep pushing and pushing, but we're pretty good now. To late February will be the release.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And is there an issue 3 already in the works, or what's the
Uh,
next step, sort of?
Flurry number. Where are we at now? Flurry number 3 is going to be the next step, and it also will have Harrier in it.
Oh, okay, it's a
We
crossover.
know Harrier's been gone for a long time, and I had a talk with the writer who is also my best friend Dave. I go, I'd like to have her in the book because first of all, they're in the same city,
Right.
but also I think it really creates a storyline that for both stories that really pushes everything forward. So
That's amazing. And so all three are in the same universe, right?
yes, Beats, Flurry, and Harrier are all in the same universe. And even with being under Unparalleled now, we decided, at least for right now, to keep them separated. And there could be a point in the future we do collide them.
Cool, cool. Something always to look forward to. What are you looking to get out besides like being able to stretch your wings a little bit and have some other titles to work on? What are you looking to get out of this for Fate? And I mean, obviously, you were talking about taking some stuff off your plate. Are they then
Yeah.
is Unparalleled like now handling all the marketing stuff for all the books, and just kind of that's completely out of your hands? Or but I've seen you on TikTok a little more lately,
Yeah.
and I wanted to say I'm proud of you on that. That's I always tell
it's
people like you got to get
it's
on TikTok.
tough.
No,
Yeah,
you've been doing a
it's
good
tough,
job though.
and yeah, it's tough for me because I'm always trying to do 20 different things, and social media is usually not the top of my list. I'm like, look, I gotta make it the top of my list because I need to be noticed somewhere out there, even if it gets 4 views. That actually happened the other day. I'm like, I did all this for 4 views. Four. I don't care about likes. You're gonna give me 4 views. Um, but it's something that I even talked to in parallel about. Like, hey, I know a lot of us don't like. We're older. We're not used to this um, TikTok and everything like that. It's a lot even younger. 20s. These guys are just going, and it's like, no, we need to do this because it's basically free advertisement
Yeah.
to a global market. And I go, it needs to be done. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to put my money where or my foot where my mouth is, all this, and just put it out there. Just go for it. And it's been tough because I'm not used to making videos, and then when I do videos, I wanted to make it not controversial because I see so much of that today. I'm like, no, just directly say what I'm going to say, and that's it.
Oh, that's funny. I was gonna tell you that you should start pitting your characters against other characters. Get some debate going in the comments, you know. I'm
Oh,
not a
trust
big
me,
fan of power scaling personally, but I know that a lot of people are, and a lot of people want to have those kind of thought exercises about like what people can do. And a in your opinion, like you write Flurry, hey, how could Flurry like beat Iceman or some of the other ice characters, right? Like it'd be an interesting conversation starter because then people will get in on that.
oh, Flurry would destroy Iceman. It's not even a contest.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Shots fired, man! Shots fired. All
I
right,
mean,
there's
when you
our
know
hook for the
her
video right there.
when you know her powers, it's stupid how actual powerful she is and doesn't even know it yet. I'm like, it's there because we're about 10 to 20 issues ahead on her already.
Oh wow,
Like we already know where she's going and the amount of damage she can cause, and it's insane.
that's awesome. And that's as a reader, that is great to hear that you have like a long-term plan. There's a lot of conversation right now happening in the comic book space about especially the mainstream where they cancel a lot of books, right? Or they do like these short mini series and not a lot of stuff gets time to breathe and time to just like really grow. So it's actually really, really encouraging that you're planning so far ahead.
Yeah, every title that I've worked on, uh, even if I'm editing, I make sure where the story is headed to the point of, okay, if we need this many issues, that's fine, but where are we ending? Where are we going? Like Harrier, I know at least 50 issues deep where I'm going.
Wow. Okay. 50,
Uh,
50
B
strong. That's because right now it's what, on five?
five.
So
It,
10, 10x the current existing run. That's wild.
yeah, and that's kind of what you need when you're in this business is where am I going? Because doing one issue at a time of, okay, well, they'll go here and then I'll figure out the rest. It's like that's not a plan. You gotta be way ahead. And uh I'm so far ahead that I'm trying to think here. So after Beats gets done with her, it's gonna be about 10 issues or so for Beats. Uh I definitely want to get there's another book that I want to get there. We'll see if it eventually gets there, but I plan to have T.S. Luther actually write it.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about that already numerous times. I'm like, I want to get you there, man. I just I gotta have the plan to do so.
Well, that's I love to see that. I love to see the crossover. I love to see indie creators starting to work more with each other. Uh, it's it just reinforces this notion that this is a community and that we're all kind of doing the same thing and helping each other out and working together is really the only way that this makes sense in the long run, right? You
Yep.
can't, like, like you're saying, you doing 20 things, 30 things all by yourself, because it's gonna get tiring, you're gonna get drained, and you're gonna crash out at some point. And then what could have been, a production delay now becomes like, now I don't have the energy to, like, get pack the boxes and like all the stuff that has to be done. So if you can
Yeah.
community source that can definitely help out.
Oh yeah, it's being a community is way better than trying to do it solo. For many reasons, advertising for one. Like if somebody else promotes the book, like, "Hey, I just read this. This freaking book is amazing." That takes a whole load off of me just because somebody else is doing some of the load for me, and it's one reason why I decided to go with Unparalleled is because I'm like, look, there's a whole team here, so I don't have to make 1,000 videos a day just to get something noticed, or I don't have to travel to 30 comic stores to put up flyers.
Right, right, right.
I've actually done that, and it took me about 3 days, and about three or four of them actually put a flyer up.
Oh, wow.
Two of which did pre-order beats, so I'm ready to get them their books.
That's awesome. See, that's kind of I actually have, I'm going to be doing a video here after we're done talking. I just got a package from Danny J Quick over at Fourth Wall Productions, and I picked up the, like, retailer pack, on his campaign, because I want to try to help some of these shops out, because I get, from a shop's perspective, it is a huge risk to buy a complete unknown to you, book, and buy stock, and then be like, all right, now this has got to sit here on the shelf. So I was in a position where I could do that on the last campaign, and so I just jumped on that, got the whole run, and so I'm actually going to be bring. I don't collect singles; it's all singles.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be bringing that to the shop and doing a consignment setup. And in talking about it, in discussing it, I've already sold a full run. So, like, we're already on the way, and that hopefully what that will do is give them the opportunity to see that this can sell, will sell, and that they can then just place the order themselves, get their own stock of these books.
Yeah, what you're doing is what we had. a few people actually do that because we wanted to outreach to shops, so we had our retail package, and so he's like, "Oh, I'm buying it for the shop local to me." I'm like, "That's awesome to hear, man. Like that's like I don't think most people realize from a comic reader standpoint, like if you're able to support a book any way possible to make the book happen, for any creator, it's massive. It is absolutely insane. And when the shops we had two shops pre-order, like I said, and I couldn't thank them enough because, you know, as a shop owner, they're taking a risk on uh, putting it in their shop because they don't know if it's going to sell.
For sure.
But I've went into shops uh, when I did go around for beats, and I brought issues saying, "Hey, this is what you'll get. You want to read it? That's fine. See if you want to support it. See if your people would like it." And it's a struggle sometimes because a lot of shops they say they love to support local, but man, I heard that a few times when I did beats. When I went around shops, oh, we love locals. Oh, we love this. We love, but when push came to shove, nothing. It was all talk, and it hurt. But that's the small self publishing market, man. It's rough.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I will say, I granted I only went to one shop, but they flat out said like they don't sell anything local. They barely sell any indie stuff
Hmm.
because even like from the major indie brands, like they just don't move it. And flat out, the guy at the shop told me it's mainly a DC shop. Like the crowd there in that area is DC fans. They said we put out all this Black Panther stuff, all this Marvel stuff for the the Black Panther was Eyes of Wakanda when that came out,
Yeah,
and they're like nothing. They're like we sold like two or three books. They're like Superman came out, we dropped a bunch of DC stuff on the table because they've got like a big table in the middle of the shop as soon as you get in, and he's like
yeah.
we filled the table up with Superman and DC stuff, couldn't keep it stocked. And he's like, it's a DC crowd. And that's like something. So I'm doing this like travel project for myself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I'm taking like stock of like what the mentality is in different parts of the country as far as how customers are shopping, how readers are engaging with the comics. And I'm making a list. I'm actually going to be premiering it on the next episode here. But I'm going to be essentially going shop to shop in the Chicagoland area and just seeing who's carrying indies, who's prominently carrying indies, who's open to consignment, all of that kind of stuff. Like, and essentially, I'm going to make a big list of indie friendly shops, like the Indie Hype Man approved list. And because I've been to a lot of shops that are like great shops, but they either don't have indie or it's like in the back somewhere in the corner. So it's like you never know it's there. Like it's very diverse as to how books are portrayed and displayed in comic shops. So I want to like maybe save people like yourself some time that are going shop to shop to try to get their book on the shelf. And it's like if this shop doesn't take consignment and they don't they don't sell indie or small publisher, there's not even a reason for you to go in the door. Like that's gas money saved and time saved.
Yeah, St. Louis, though, I will say this is very strong when it comes to comics. Like they sell everything they can get their hands on. From every store I've went to, they
Interesting.
had lots of indie, lots of Marvel, lots of DC. Uh, the one that I go to that's up the street from me, they try to go with some of the bigger titles for Marvel, DC, Image, and Boom. But they're also like, hey, if somebody wants this book, or they see it on a hold, they're gonna go get that book. They're not gonna say no to it. Um,
That's good.
and and they've honestly some of the stuff has surprised when they do buy it. They're like, oh, it's gone. Okay, and even if they don't say they sell most of it, but it's still there, they always have back issue sales, and that empties everything else out. So uh, they do pretty well. I've been honestly surprised sometimes. I'm like, wait, that's gone? What do you mean it's gone? like
Right.
uh what book was it? It was the Sonic and DC merge. So
Oh,
like
okay.
the 5 issue run, like I wanted it so bad. I got the first 3 issues, and then I completely forgot because usually I just go in Wednesday, pick it up. I don't even put them. I didn't put on my holds. All of a sudden, I'm like,
Oh, okay.
and I get there Friday. I'm like, what do you mean it's gone? What do you mean it's sold out? I'm like, oh no. Uh,
That's
but
you got to get those pre-orders in. You got to put it on the list. That's the key. That's another great conversation that's happening right now. Is a lot of comic book creators, comic book content creators, are talking about the pre-order system, how much it matters, and I got to give a big shout out to Jay Penumbra because he's really championing that because just a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know, and a lot of people aren't aware. And as much as my good friend King Lion would like to say that, like, yeah, they tell you what's coming out in the preview books. A, not every shop has those in mass. They give them out and they sell out at some point. So when you walk in, there
yeah,
might not be a copy. And B, I don't go through those. I literally I have one right here, and I tell you right now, I have flipped through this. I have flipped through this. I don't know what's in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like if you aren't actively like looking to buy comics through the catalog system to be like, oh, what's coming up? If you're
yeah,
more, I would say if you're more of like a casual consumer of comics, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're just gonna go in, pick up what you think is interesting. If you aren't aware that an interesting book is coming up and you're not going to sit here through the Marvel previews or the DC
yeah,
Connect and like figure out what's coming up, how are you ever supposed to know? I love Black Lightning, one of my favorite characters at DC. I didn't know that he had a title until JP was telling me about how the title came and went. The trade came out in like August or something, and I didn't find out until December of last year. So it's like, even people who go regularly to comic shops, you just don't know because shops have restricted space. They can't stock everything and they can't stock a dozen of every copy. So it's like they probably ordered two or three for the shelf and whatever their pre-orders were. And because it doesn't make sense to buy stuff that isn't the most popular and isn't going to sell just on appearance, right? Because I've seen stuff that's been bought sort of not on a whim, but like as like a let's try it out. And it's been sitting there for 6 months. It's been sitting there for 8 months. Like
yeah.
it's if you don't have a built-in fan base and you aren't sure that a book will go, it's hard to pick up a title and just bring in a dozen copies or even six copies to sit on the shelf, Or on the flip side, you pick up something like Mr. Terrific and you're like, oh man, the movie's coming out, he's in it. Maybe we should pick up extra copies. Well, if they pick up six copies, he killed it in that movie. So now everyone wants to know about Mr. Terrific. Oh, year one, let me grab that right now. So now six copies wasn't enough. So like it's you
Well,
know
that's usually a good problem to have.
well, yeah, but then they aren't reprinting miniseries. If issue one sells out, issue one is sold out. So you're out of luck until the trade comes out. So and then just even then the knowing of the hey, you need to pre-order this so that next time around they know, hey, this is something that's popular. People want this book. So and as much as the shop needs to know that, the publishers need to know that. Like DC needs to know that Mr. Terrific is a popular character. DC needs to know that Black Lightning is a popular character. So equally, like that's why I like poking around these other the shops in the country because I want to see how they're stocking stuff, how they're displaying stuff, like where things sit. Because man, as many varieties of comic shop as you can come up with, That's how many varieties of like layouts I've seen and where things sit and how things are displayed. You know, there's shops that have all their back orders in drawers, and you wouldn't know there was back orders unless you asked.
Like it was crazy for so my shop is pretty good to where if something does sell out, he will actually go and look if he can get more out of the distributor. Like they can actually get more in,
Yeah, yeah,
which is really cool. But which one was it I was thinking of? So he ordered a bunch of the absolute Batman with the Joker.
yeah,
He
yeah.
thought he thought it was gonna fly off the shelves.
Sure.
He bought a ton of them. Yeah, he didn't sell as many as he thought he would. But he's like, I have them. So when people do are looking for it, I have it.
Right.
But he's like, I thought I'd sell more. But what was funny is he bought, and this is my own pet peeve is so he got a lot of the blind bags in for that ultimate end game.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got there maybe an hour uh, after they opened on a Wednesday. I was like, cool, I'll get one. It'll be awesome. And it it bugs me so much because it's the collector side of comics. This guy had a whole stack of 25 of them, which was pretty much almost the
Oh,
entire stock, like because somebody had bought prior. And I'm like, he's sitting there with 25 blind bags.
nah.
And what's worse is he's not actually like at the register buying them at the moment. He's talking to someone else like, how many do we need? Well, I'm just sitting there like, I'd like one, just one,
Yeah,
but
that bothers me because it's like you said, it's the collector side of the market, and it's all speculation. It's all, oh,
mhm.
if we keep them sealed, then we could sell them because like if certain ones weren't open yet, then who knows? It could be one of these. And I don't like that stuff, man. I'm a reader of comics, right? I buy them to read them. I don't keep comics sealed. I don't keep comics like put up unless I have multiple copies for some reason. I'm not like putting a comic on a wall. So like to
Well, and
me, it's I don't even get like I'm not even there. I literally I just told the story the other day. I was at a local toy shop and they've got like some comic stuff there.
yeah,
And I'm just like I was actually trading in some toys and they're looking at my toys and I'm just kind of poking around and I look on the counter and I see an X-Men #1. And I was like, oh, maybe it's like the set because it was $75. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
maybe it's like a set of the first 5 issues or something, right? And I like lean over and I'm like, oh no, that's a single issue. And I'm like, is it the wraparound? And it's like, no, it's not even the wraparound. I'm like, is it signed? Like, why is it $75? And I like
yeah.
said that out loud. And then as I said it out loud, I like zoomed out apparently in my brain and I realized they were slabbed. And I was like, oh man,
Uh-oh.
I'm like, I don't care about slabs so much that I didn't even see the slabs.
Yeah. Well, luckily the one guy who had 25, he saw me standing there because I had asked the owner of it. I'm like, do you got more in the back? Did you not put them all out for that reason? Like, he's like, no, that's all of them. And the guy who did, he's like, how many were you looking for? I'm like, just one, man. So he's like, here. So I was like,
Ah,
okay, I got one. All
that
right.
I mean that's the kind of thing that really needs to be restricted from a shop level. Like you could buy two of these max. Like I can't like the whole point is I have a customer base that comes here and will want to buy this. Like I bought these, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's I used to run a shop, so I get a little particular when I hear stuff like that. Like that would have been a two per customer kind of joint for me.
Like
Like
I get it because they're still, it's a shop. They got to do business. They got to make sales.
right.
100% understand. But I think and I think I put this more on Marvel's side. I go, you should have been working with your shop saying, hey, if if your people have holds and they have an ultimate book, they get first dibs at one. That
Well,
way it
that's
rewards
that's on
everybody
the
in the
that's on
system.
that's on the shops, man. That's definitely on the shops. That I would say 100% that's on the shops. Like, because that's Marvel can't tell you how to run your store, you know? Like if you If you do your pull list last, you know, that's how you do it. You know, that's
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's particulars. There's particulars for sure. So
But
I remember.
I did get one. I got a variant, and it
Oh,
wasn't
nice.
anything crazy. So I'm like, okay, cool, yay, I did one. All right,
Right.
I don't need 20 more.
Well, that's the thing. Like some people like make whole content out of it. Oh, opening a dozen blind bags. Like I remember what was it, Battle Beast when that came out. Man, I came across so many
Uh,
like 50 Battle Beasts blind bags, and I was like, dude. First of all, that's a lot of money, and like
yeah,
second of all, like you're just like you're feeding into like the lowest common denominator in the collector space in general, not even just comics, right? That's I mean, hell, that's the whole premise of like card packs back in the days. Even still to this day, I watch people with glee open like a pot pack of Pokemon or something. Like they're just like, all right, and then they're like, oh, this one's not right. Like there's something about it. Like there's that dopamine of like finding the cool thing, and like I understand that part, but for me, like I'm opening it to read it. Like if it only comes in a blind bag, it only comes in a blind bag. I have never opted for the blind bag instead of a regular copy. Like I'll get the regular cover. I'm okay with it. I don't need the blind bag. Like if I'm trying to read it, I'm trying to read it. That's all it is for me.
yeah. I already had the regular one, but I'm like, man, I want to open one. You know what I mean? Just the fun of it. It's a big event, you know, for
Yeah.
comics, and I was like, yeah, you know, this is cool. Let's do it. But I understand what they're trying to do with in a collector standpoint because there is a lot of money there. So I'm like, I get it. You want collectors to be grabbing all these bags, um, but like I said, leaving the reader out is not the way to do it.
Yeah, agreed. 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 That's if it was me, if I was a shop, and maybe if any shop owners are listening or watching, please take heed. If something's coming out with a blind bag and you could get a regular copy or a blind bag, if someone has that on their pull list, you got to put a blind bag in there. Put a regular copy in a
Yeah,
blind bag, you let them pick. If they don't want the blind bag, 'cause it's always more
it goes
expensive,
right
right?
back on the shelf.
Then you got a
It
blind bag to sell. No problem. It is what it is. Like you gotta prioritize the pull list. That's the loyalty base. Those are the ones that are gonna be around and a bit around. You can't leave them out in the sun, as it were.
but
Like
I
and
I love my local shop though, man. They for their pull list from the information I have got recently, you only need one active series on your pull list to be a pull and hold, and you get 20% off when you make a purchase.
wow,
So I'm like,
that's
man, that's great.
dude, that's I'll tell you what, man, that's better than I was running it back in the day. You had to have, I want to say five, if I recall correctly, you had to have five books and you got 10%.
Yep.
That's wild. But that's
And it's great, man. I love it. You know, especially for somebody who might buy, like, I think on average I'm about somewhere between 5 and 10 a week. And, you know, I'll get there. I'm like, okay, this is, you know, that would hurt the wallet. That'd be $50 or so.
right.
And then they'll be like, oh, you know, $37. I'm like, okay, that's not bad.
Right. Right. You'll
Not
take
bad.
that. You'll take that little bit of discount. But that's the thing is like the discount is I think underrated in comic shops. I think because I know a little bit about how much they're paying per book and the margins and such. And obviously there's other costs associated with it. And it's not just like a clean the book costs this much and this is the profit margin. Obviously they have light bills, they have
Yeah.
electric bills, they have internet bills, they have staff they got to pay. There's variety, but I think like I love like I'll never stop talking about Blurred's Underground in LaGrange, Illinois. Blurred's Underground, if you're in LaGrange, Illinois or near, check them out. They're awesome. But like they do a great job with taking stuff that's been sitting for a bit in like the regular trades, and they've got the
Mhm.
spinner, kind of like old school spinner. and they put stuff there for 50% off.
Oh, that's
It's been,
cool.
it's been, if it's been collecting dust effectively, why not move it? Man, I buy so much stuff off of those racks because then I get inspired. I'm like, I mean, for 50% off, I'll give this a shot. Like you get
Oh yeah.
inspired because it's like if it's $50, I'm like, that's a lot of money. I don't know about this genre, or like if it's this is really like not really in my wheelhouse, but like for $25, I'm like, give it a shot. Let's see what happens. you know?
Oh yeah. And that it's one reason why for me when I was going to all these shops to promote the Kickstarter, one big thing that I looked at when I was like, am I going to come back to the shop? Even like, even if they say they don't want pre-order,
Yeah,
do I think they have the right mindset that I want to work with?
sure.
Are they going to
Sure.
be that type of shop? And I think there was a few that I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming back here. Like you guys don't seem like you're interested in any way, shape, or form about what I have to say. And I
I
think
got
that's a big thing to me with indie. It's like they didn't even want to hear just oh, like they didn't ask, oh, do you got one I can read? Oh, what's your story about? Oh, what's they just were like, nah, okay. I mean, it's your shop,
right.
but that's not your
But there's
you need to
there's
look.
ways to run it. There's ways to consider things like,
Yeah,
man, there's a couple shops in the area that I will say are pretty much like kind of hard line about how they do their business. There's one shop which it's a fun times because it's basically you're going there with a budget because they still in the year of our science 2026 they take cash only. So 100% of the time you're going in with a budget. like what I mean? Like,
oh,
and I'm just like, man, how are like the
how are you still in
I had
business?
gone in years ago and I hadn't been in a while. And then I was like, let me find a shop. And I was actually starting to work in Elmhurst. And I was like, you know what? Let me check out Elmhurst. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, I forgot about these guys. It's been a long time since I've been there. Let me go check out the shop. And I picked out like 6, 7 books. I was ready to roll.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, it's cash only. I was like, ah, okay. Because I only had like a 20 on me. So it's like, all right,
yeah.
well, I gotta put this back. I gotta put this back. Like, had to make some decisions. Like, I was like, man, like I was excited. I was about to get a little flagrant with my money, but I guess not.
Yeah, that's weird, especially like okay, cool. If you get a charge fee for per card, most people don't care to pay it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
an
yeah,
extra
yeah.
dollar for charge, whatever. I'll do it for convenience. I
I'll
don't
tell
want to
I'll
carry
tell you
cash on me.
100%. I'll tell you that's not it. I'll tell you that's not it because what it is cash doesn't have to be reported. Or not doesn't have to be. Let me rephrase that. The cash does have to be reported. You are supposed to report the cash,
You're
uh, but a,
supposed
but a lot of people don't report the cash because I've been at shows and seen books that I'm like, oh man, I'm never gonna see this book again. Like it's just I've got to buy it. Like like it's so rare.
yeah.
I come across stuff that I'm like, oh man, I gotta jump on this. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. And the guy's like, oh, I only do cash. He's like, why is Uncle Sam got to take a cut of my profits? And I was like, whoa.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, I don't know that you
I
want to be admitting to tax fraud to strangers.
Oh, they'll figure it out when you're still in business, and they're like, "How'd you afford this rent if you didn't have any profit there?" You're like, how you doing
Right.
this?"
Right. Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah,
very straight. And then there's just in general, there's a few shops where they kind of don't care if you're there. It's very strange to me, like being that it's such a community based medium, for you to not care if I'm in the store, for you to not like
yeah,
barely ask me what I want.
yeah.
Like, okay, help you find anything, and then nothing, not a word. I've even teed up certain shops. Like I'll walk in, like there's a shop I walked into. I read this. like review from like years earlier, some dude named
Yeah.
David on Google. He was like, "Oh, the guy's an asshole or whatever." And I walked in, I'm like, "Yo, what'd you do to David?" Like I teed him up for a conversation. I was like, he's like, what happened? I'm like, no, like I read this review from a couple years ago. I was just trying to like shoot the shit with him. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh no. He's like, I don't know. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and that was it. Like nothing. Just like there was no other engagement. I was like, all right. I tried. I tried to make this a more interesting conversation. But I guess we're just here for a financial transaction. That's fine. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My shop, they make sure you're seen.
that's
The
what's
one I
up.
go
That's what's
to,
up.
it is, and it doesn't matter who's coming in. They see you, and they're like, "What's up?" And they'll ask, immediately, like, "What you in for? What's this?" And they don't try to like force it upon you, but they want to help you of whatever you're looking for to point you in the right direction.
That's
And
what's up.
they know me so well up there now that about a few weeks ago, I'm walking in because they also do they're a card shop as well. They run some
Mm.
events. And so I'm coming in for that, and they're like, "Tom," and all of a sudden everybody in the that's already there goes, "Tom." I'm like, "Yeah."
That's awesome. That's awesome. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like you gotta have that community. That's what I think has been missing from the comic shop experience in general. Like there's just been a lot of years where people didn't talk to each other, didn't talk to other, shop goers or anything. Uh I've been I've been at shops and I'm like watching stuff and people are just like, "Oh, hey, excuse me, sorry." Like it's like we're in a library. And I'm like, yo, shoot the shit with me. Like, you're looking for a book, I'm looking for a book. Like, are we looking for the same book? Maybe. Like, let's have a conversation. Like, yeah, it's very odd in some spaces. But then I got to give shots to other places that have great environment, great chatters. Like, I love a chatterbox, man. I love someone who's going to chat it up with me because then that it's going to reveal information to me as far as like what they might have that I don't know about or what deals they might have, like silly stuff like that, right? I
Yeah.
so when I was in St. Louis, I went the shop I went to down there was Comics headquarters. It's like
Oh yeah, I
southwest
went there.
side.
Yeah, they're kind of shoved in the corner of this
Yeah,
neighborhood
yeah, yeah.
shop. I went there when I was advertising. The guys were really cool, and they're sadly the owner wasn't there to put the banner and talk out. But it was a cool shop. We talked to one of the guys forever. I
Yeah,
forget
like
what
I walked in, I was like kind of like looking at the Transformers like compendium, like the newer one.
we.
And he's like, "Oh, you Transformers fan?" I was like, "Yeah, pretty big Transformers fan." And he pulls out a box of Marvel UK original Transformers, like original singles. And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And literally, I'm like, "Oh, you know what?" They like popped into my head. I'm like, "Oh, Death's Head premieres in this series." I was like, I mean, I'd pick that up. I don't collect singles, but I'd pick that up just for the laughs. And then I'm like flipping through it. It's the one issue that's missing. I'm like, somebody else had the same idea.
The next time you're in St. Louis and looking for back issues, go to Comic Book Relief.
Okay.
They
Okay.
they're out here in St. Charles. They got their own like he bought a plot of land, built up the store. So
Oh,
he
wow.
uh yeah, and if you're looking for, I mean, he is just comics, no cards, no toys, just comics. And I'm talking when you talk about back issues, he's got about let me think here. He's got about about 20 file cabinets per row of just back issues, and he's got about 6 to 7
Whoa.
rows of those. So I'm talking, he's got like at least 100 file cabinets just
Okay.
full of back issues, and then
Okay.
along one of the walls, he's got all the new releases and releases of a week prior. He's got and then he's got two more shelves that go back and forth of like the past 6 or 7 weeks. And then along most of the wall, he's got all the trades.
Man, that sounds like our local Midwestern Mile High. That's like, it
Oh
sounds like
yeah,
he's our Midwestern version of Mile High, because that's the last time I had a big experience like that was Mile High Comics.
yeah. He's the owner, Mike. He's a quiet guy, but man, his love for comics is there. Like he is one of the first ones that supported Beats right away. Like as I brought in the poster, pitched it to him, and he's like here, show, because it was live at the time after I already did it, and I was like, yeah, it's live. He's like, hold on. He goes, he just pre-orders it right as I'm there. Like, hold
That's
on,
awesome.
got it. I'm like, dude,
That's awesome, man.
yeah, he's a quiet guy, but man, his shop is one of the best here in St. Louis.
Yeah, man. That's why I like, part of the reason I want to do that list is to give these shops that like are just really great experiences and like really indie friendly. I want to give them their flowers, man. Like I like walking into a spot and then being like blown away by how much indie there is. Like that's one of my favorite things. Like I got Chicago Comics. I was there for the first time in a long time, and I walked in and I was like, man, like there's so much indie here. Like I was so literally the first two like freestanding like little standees full of like local small press Chicago. Like I was like, that's amazing. Like that's what I'm looking for, man. Like I love to see just like a dedicated space for indie, a dedicated space for local small press stuff. Like I can't stomach a shop that's like, oh yeah, like when I say where was I? I was in New Mexico, and I said, "Oh, do you have any indie comics?" And this young man, he's like, "Oh, well, in this
Oh,
back here, we've got like, some Image. Image is technically, Image is like indie comics. So
technically indie, yeah.
he's like, it's considered an indie comic publisher." And I was like, mind you, I opened with, I publish an indie creator magazine on online, and he's like explaining what indie comics is to me, and I was like, bro, you can't be serious right now. Like I I
I
know
mean,
what I'm looking for. I just need to know where it is there, champ. Like,
yeah, and I get it. Maybe he was just trying to do his job. I get that, but it's like sometimes, especially with indie though, I hate that it's like, oh, Image is indie. I'm like, but are they? Like,
yeah, technically
uh,
technically they are.
by technicality, but
But
yeah,
like, it's the thing is, and I've said this many times, like the difference between what I consider indie, like small press, independently published, and Image. Like, yeah, it's still technically indie because those are still creator owned books.
yep,
But on the shelf, it matters if it says Image in the corner.
yep,
It matters. That's a branding that's a branding benefit that you can't escape from. So like it
yep.
matters. Like if the next Beats issue was on the shelf with a big old Image eye, I guarantee you it would move units.
The only thing it's gonna have is Unparalleled in the corner now.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And
That
I'd love
fate will be in the other corner. It will still be there,
absolutely,
but that
absolutely.
Unparalleled will be there.
Dude, and that's the thing is I'm loving the expansion. I really want there to be more. Like, we need a new Image. We need a new, and I feel like there was like certain companies that were kind of there, and the way I see it, and I could be wrong, this could be like a
Yeah,
hot take, but the way I see it is, once you as an independent publisher start getting paid or have enough money to buy a licensed property to make comics of, you are no longer indie. You are now mainstream. Last year,
yep.
when Mad Cave started pumping out, was it Battle of
Speed
the
Racer.
Planets, Speed Racer? But I think Battle of the Planets too, aren't they?
I don't remember. I'm trying to
I
think.
think
Do they have Captain Planet too, or is that somebody
they might
else?
have Captain Planet, but like Speed Racer, I was like, well, welcome to the mainstream Mad Cave, because it was like, sorry, if you got the money to pay for that license, or if they came to you and said, hey, you're like where we want to publish this, or at least you like went to them and say, hey, we want to publish this for you, and now they're paying you to publish it.
Yeah,
that you are in a position monetarily, which is, that puts you outside of what I would consider indie comics. It's the same reason that Image to me is no longer truly indie, because no matter what you tell me, Transformers isn't an indie title.
Oh no.
GI
And I was
Joe is not an
surprised.
indie title. Like, it's
I
not.
was honestly surprised they bought it. I was honestly, when IDW was putting up for sale, I'm like, I understand Dark Horse would. I understand this, but Image was one. I'm like, are you really gonna go there? Are you
Dark
really
that's Dude,
or
Dark Horse was such an it has been, it has remained this very interesting publishing house, because they had a ton of really like diverse indie books, and then just for 40 years they ran like all the licensed properties, all the Alien books, the Predator books, the Transformer books, like, it's all of it came out of Dark Horse. Star Wars forever, like
I actually
all.
just I got a whole massive book of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I ordered it specifically. I'm like, I want this. But what's funny is now that it's under Marvel,
Mhm.
they covered up like that's Dark Horse proper. It was, and they just like, well, now it's ours.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
wow.
I mean, that is how it always runs, right? What was it when Marvel had what's it called? Conan. When Marvel had Conan,
Hmm.
they reprinted all the Conan stuff, but now they don't, so they can't, right? I actually don't think they could reprint technically. I don't think we can get an omnibus of was it Avengers Strike Force or whatever it was, Dark Avengers, whatever the hell it was that he was on. Because he was on an Avengers title. So I don't think we're
Yeah.
gonna get that in Omni ever, because we can't, because they can't print Conan books again. And he's in an entire like half of a series of Avengers. So
I
that
think
the
it depends what they buy. When they buy the IP, I think it depends what they buy. If they
yeah, when
just
they
buy the rights for future books or they buy all of it.
well the specifically the Conan rights, it's everything, everything all at once, because right now was it Titan that owns that's running the comics for them, and they're publishing the Marvel books now under Titan, like the old Marvel Conan
Okay.
books, they're publishing them under Titan. So yeah,
Okay.
the brand owner, if you will, they maintain all the rights. So when Lucasfilm was, gave the rights to Dark Horse to make comics, Lucasfilm still owned it. So when Marvel bought Lucasfilm, those rights defaulted back to them. So when it was up for renewal, because that's why Dark Horse still made Star Wars comics after Marvel bought them for like 2 or 3 years, until the license cut out, and then, well, suddenly Marvel's producing Star Wars comics.
Yeah,
But
and I kind of wish it would go back to Dark Horse, but that's just
but
I've
yeah,
been listening to a lot of the Legends stuff with Old Republic, and it's been just so freshening hearing all this different storytelling from the Old Republic. I'm like, especially the books are just beautifully like written from listening to them. I'm like, everything's not, oh, here's a lightsaber fight and craziness. It's like, no, like Darth Bane's story starts when he's just a minor. Like he's getting this one medal. Basically it was during uh, uh what were they called? They were the Sith, but they were called Brothers of Darkness.
mm,
I think it was. And basically them and the Republic are fighting and oh, we need this medal for the war. And he's just kind of like, in the mines the entire time. And it's like, oh, so cool. He's not just ultra powerful and just comes out of nowhere.
right.
Like we get this beautiful storytelling, even with Revenant. That's why I miss certain things when it's like, oh, went to Marvel. I'm like, okay, they're just gonna put one of their basic writers on it and call it a day. And it's nothing to knock the writers, because most of them are very talented. Um, but it just feels like some editor told him, yeah, just make whatever story. I don't, it doesn't have to make sense. We'll cancel it in 5 issues.
Well, I mean, I will say
And it,
the Star Wars books seem to be the longest lasting because they have the built-in fan base. And that's, that's kind of what like brings me into saying that like if you start licensing books that you're not indie anymore, because if you bring in
yeah,
if you start publishing a comic that has an existing long-standing fan base, I mean, like, let's be honest, not every Captain Marvel or not every Captain Planet fan reads comics, but every comic book fan that loves Captain Planet reads Captain Planet. You know what I mean?
I, I
Like,
got I got all the issues they came out with. I've
see,
only read number 1 so far. I'm still
see,
behind, but I got them all.
I'm saying like every Captain Planet, like, to me, man, like it's if you start bringing in that existing property. I mean, I was at Blurred's Underground and I watched two young ladies walk in and were discussing Speed Racer. It was their first comics they were buying. It was their first comic books. They are not comic book fans, but they're like so jazzed about Speed Racer. They're like, "Is this the only one? Are there any other ones? Is there, And I was like, I'm like, "Isn't there a Racer X book?" He's like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Went
Yep.
got the Racer X book. So like, it's just it's it's a great look. Don't get me wrong. I love the licensed properties. Bring more readers into the fold. Absolutely. I've seen it happen a dozen times in the last year where somebody's like, oh, I don't really read comics, but like I'm a big fan of XYZ, right? Whatever the licensed property was
Yeah.
that we were looking at. And it's a great spot. And then, it gives those people a taste, but then it also brings them into that space. It brings
Yep.
them into the space of, oh, this looks cool. What's this? Like, like just that shopping experience of like, hey, now there's other things here. There's other options on top of what I came for. And then it's like if you talk to someone and they say, oh, I'm a real big Speed Racer fan. All right, cool. Then now kind of like what like they want like a high octane, family drama, but also high octane, action. So cool. That now you can point them into a direction of what else they might be willing to read. Because like you said, like been discussing, stuff sells out. Stuff sells out, and then what else you got? What else you got for this person?
Yeah, because I remember when I started the first comics I was picking up when I was a kid was Pokemon and Sonic, and that's the first thing that really got me like into a lot of different things with superheroes. And then you had the animated series coming on TV with Spider-Man, this, that. But I didn't actually I don't think I fully started reading, and people don't like me for this. So, my first trade was Marvel Civil War.
Of all time?
That was my first trade. That first time I really sat down, knew what I should say knew what I was doing because obviously I get a lot of flack for it. Um, but when I read it, and I was a freshman in high school at the time, and I read it, and people are like, nowadays are like, "How did you understand the story?" I'm like, I just connected some dots. Like it to me, it wasn't anything that insane.
Civil War
But they're like,
is
"Oh, you
it's
need all those
very heavily
tie-ins."
Civil War is a very heavily standalone book. As much as there is more to the story, like I think this is probably part of the reason why they haven't put out an omnibus, like a proper omnibus, because if you just read the Civil War trade, that's all you need to read. Everything else is actually supplementary. Like
Yeah.
the bulk of it is in the main story, and really you don't need like maybe the Avengers books. Outside of those three things, that's it. Like that's all you need to read.
Well, and people are like, well, how do you know from this to this or this to this or how Spider-Man made this decision? I go, because for me, you see him already kind of, when they're all talking in the Avengers Tower, they're kind of debating it right then and there of what they want to do. I go,
Right.
I don't need a whole 3 issue, 4 issues to tell me he made a decision of
As
why he made it. I don't need that.
as much as I got beef with Millar because he was buddying up with EVS over there in Comics Gateland. As much as I got beef with him for that, Civil War was a good fucking read. Civil War is a good fucking read. There's no way around that. That's man, that but that as your entry is that's like, hey, deep end of the pool. Oh, you don't know how to swim? Don't care. Don't care.
Don't care. I'm jumping in. And
Don't care.
and for me, I'm like, I don't have to pick up a single issue. This whole story's here. Cool. I'm just gonna go read that. I think,
Trades are where it's
at
at,
that
man.
time it was maybe like 10 to 15 bucks for that read. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'll just go do this. And I'd read it and while I'm in class doing nothing, I'm reading it and it was funny because, back, even when I was a freshman, comics still like Iron Man hadn't come out yet. So comic book movies were there, but they weren't still as popular as they are today. And I had one guy, he's like, what are you reading? I go, I was like, it's Marvel Civil War. And he's like, and because the art in it is so good
Yeah.
in that book.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Without
it
question.
made it feel so grounded. And I was like, especially it felt so fresh. And I was like, I need more of this because I need more of just comics because I was like, this is so good. It felt, grounded, and I love this. And then I started, just reading a bunch of different stuff at that point.
That's awesome. See, I love hearing the story of how people first got into it because everyone has their own little unique thing. Like there's no like correct way to get into comics, which is hilarious to me because every time that I see someone on the internet ask for recommendations, everyone's like, "Oh, you got to start with this. This one's like the pivotal. This is how you learn all the." But it's like, dude, my like first issue was like a Spider-Man middle of the Clone Saga. You know what I mean? Like you got to just dive in. Pick something you like. Pick something if you want action, you want romance. What do you want? And then I can just
Yep.
point you in a direction, and you literally just pick something up off the shelf and then read that because it for me to try to like curate your experience, it's a disservice to the medium because nobody's experience was curated unless they started at like Ultimate Spider-Man #1 and read nothing else and only read Ultimate Spider-Man. And then, even then, spoiler alert for a 20-year-old book, he dies. So, like,
Well, I was gonna say, which Ultimate Spider-Man are we talking about?
the new one's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, yeah.
Because I was gonna say,
Because
damn.
right, because it's like
I
if you're
think
jumping in the new one,
I'm 2 issues behind on that one. But I'm like, I've already read. I had to read all the Ultimates, uh, in 1 week to read Endgame because I wasn't reading Ultimates, and I'm like,
oh, okay.
because I read Invasion, and I'm like, oh, I'll just jump into Spider-Man because that's what I like. I tried X-Men, it didn't work for me. I'm like, I don't
As
like the
much as
artwork.
as much
It's
as I love, like, see, that's the thing for me. I love the artwork. Peach Momoko's art is amazing.
oh
It
yeah,
The book doesn't feel like it belongs in that universe.
it
It just
doesn't.
like I read 3 issues and I was like, this feels like something I shouldn't be reading in congruence with these other things. Like
Yep.
it doesn't feel like the Ultimate Spider-Man. It doesn't feel like Ultimate Black Panther. Like it just doesn't feel like it's part of the same world. Like one time, I think in 3 issues, they mentioned like the thing that happened in New York. And it's like, that's the only like sprinkle that this is in the same world. Like it just doesn't feel right. Whereas all the other books are like visually, tonally, they're all very similar. But this was like like a Japanese coming of age story, which again, nothing wrong with that. That could be a great read separately, but as part of this was very strange to me.
Yeah, especially if you're building this universe that you're probably going to destroy sometime in this year. Um, it's
It's
kind of one of those things where I'm like, why didn't because I knew her, she was doing a lot of one shots with certain X-Men. I forget what were calling it.
Demon Days.
Um, Demon Days.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Because I have the
it
collected
was,
edition. That's like super oversized, beautiful. Barely fits on my shelves. Barely.
but it was so popular. I feel like that's why they gave her the X-Men to do. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see more stories of X-Men in that style, but I was like, Ultimate is not where to do it. That's not the right book.
Yeah, I didn't like that as just as a style for something set in this world. And because the tonality of all the other stories just like really doesn't work. The way she tells her stories, the way she draws, like it just felt unrelated. And I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad book by any
Yeah.
stretch.
Oh,
It just
it's
doesn't
from what I
feel
was
like
reading,
it's
it
part of it.
was yeah. From what I was reading, I think I got about 2 or 3 issues in. And I was like, this is a really good story, but this is supposed to be the X-Men.
Right.
This is not it. And I go, it would have been cool with something else. It kind of reminds me also that what book is it? Oh, Absolute Manhunter, Martian Manhunter.
Mm.
Have you seen the artwork for that book?
I only the covers.
Oh, so it's basically, I mean, you could probably see the how it would look from the covers because the covers are just weird
Yeah,
as
yeah.
hell.
Yeah, it
And
looks like a
that's
wild
the
book.
same that's the same thing for the book like inside the book. It's just different colors, like sporadic. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like this
It's
is so crazy.
it's very much like obviously Absolute, Ultimate, obviously, same thing with Absolute. They both have this
Yeah,
like intended purpose and intended story that's going to be told. That's why like
yeah.
DC has the KO thing happening right now. Like that's sort of the culmination of the Absolute books. I think, and they haven't announced this yet, but I call this with Ultimate. I call this with Ultimate the moment they announced Ultimate. They were like
Yeah.
like people on the internet were like Ultimate Universe is back, and I was like, this is a limited run. I promise you,
Hmm.
this does not go on forever. And look, don't get me wrong, it ran about a year and a half longer than I thought it would. So I was wrong in thinking that it was going to be like a 6 month project, but it was a finite project because that was the point. And you
Well,
know what?
Invasion told you it was going to be 2 years.
What do you mean?
So when the maker
Because he goes
gets
back in time 2 years. That's right.
well, no, the thing was going to be locked. The thing was going to be locked up for 2 years. The maker in his city was trapped for 2 years,
Oh, right.
in
And when he
outside
comes
of
out,
time.
he's of course going to be pissed. Right. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because he,
So, and the thing with Tony is that he doesn't really um what do you call it? He's still relative time to what's going on, but he only has so much time to work with, and they could only send things back so many years or so many months. So it was a weird timeline, but I'm like, yeah, it was. They basically said, oh, in 2 years the city will open back up. So we only have a number, so much amount of time.
gotcha. Yeah. And so then as soon as they set that timeline, it was immediately restricted. And and I will I don't want to say that no amount of sales could have prevented them from ongoing it, but probably most amounts of sales, it would have had to be original Ultimate numbers.
Oh
I think it would
uh,
had you would have had to be hitting multiple reprints on every single book, every single title for the first 5 6 months for them to be
yeah.
like, oh, maybe we should like rework maybe like this has legs. But the problem
Well,
is they can't do that anymore because, as we talked about before, they've inflated the market with these like artificial grab bags and blind bags and all these other things that even if the first few issues do go super high and super many reprints, most of that is just the speculator market. Like
yeah,
very heavily.
and so I don't know if you know this. I think it's what's his name, Chip.
Zdarsky?
Yeah, he's actually, I think, in charge of what's going to happen next after Ultimate's Endgame, and he's discussed that because he's on the Captain America book too,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's like, these events will run into each other. I'm like, what?
Well, and the
What do you
next
mean
one,
Captain America's going to run? The regular 616 Captain America's going to run into what? So Something
it's
big is gonna come.
well,
Is coming.
I think the setup with the boxes is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
Because the next event, I think, I don't believe they've fully announced it, but there's like some lead up. There's like Wolverine has like an Armageddon thing, and then there's like I think one of the other titles has like an Armageddon miniseries. So like Armageddon something. So
yeah. There's a
I wonder if there's gonna be like a full on Marvel Armageddon event and another reset, you know? And look, I wouldn't be
yeah.
mad at a decade reset where every 10 years we just shake the fucking dice and see what fucking hits. But like we got to start making decisions and sticking to them because in my opinion to just take something, oh, it was like this before, but now it's like this plus there's another one. So like to me, that's what they did with Spider-Man when they did Secret Wars, right? It was like, oh, Spider-Man's the same way as it was the day before this happened, but now also Miles is here. And it's like we could have
Hey, by the way, he's here.
we could have come back to a reality that I would prefer where the baby never died. Peter and Mary Jane are still married. They are like raising their kids, and he has his own like school or whatever. He's a teacher, but then he's like constantly pulled away because of crises or whatever. Like a Peter Parker Spider-Man book that focuses on Peter and Peter like being a dad and a husband and like a teacher or a businessman, like whatever you want to do with him, but like something interesting. And then also like now he's like building suits for superheroes or he's like helping train the next generation. And then you put Miles in that amazing Spider-Man book, like that would have been an interesting reset after Secret Wars. Not like, oh, now there's two spider people. And I was like, there's like a dozen spider people. Like, this isn't new. This is
And
just more.
now,
Like,
have you read the new Spider Gwen?
I lost you for a second there. How about read the new
Six
Spider
one
what?
six is her main universe now.
Gwen Stacy? Like
Spider Gwen.
Ghost Spider?
Yep, she is her Ghost Spider. Her new universe, her main universe is 616 now with her dad.
How? How? Why?
Apparently, she used a cosmic cube.
So she was always that Gwen or
No, she's the one from the other universe, but she basically used a cube and goes, "Okay, I want this to be my new universe now. Like, I want to be here. Like, my whole life pretty much now is here. Like the old Gwen Stacy and her dead dad still are buried in the ground.
how does that make sense? Because Gwen had a sister.
Gwen has a lot of things. Oh, and
Gwen has a sister who, if she just sees her dad walking around town, is gonna have a fucking meltdown.
it gets even worse.
What?
Um, so did you ever read Spider-Man Clone Conspiracy?
Clone conspiracy.
It
Uh,
was Ben Riley as Jackal.
yes.
So you know
Listen,
how he was
listen.
you know how he was
As I
bringing
said
everybody
earlier,
to
I
life.
came in the middle of the Clone Saga. Ben Riley is my Spider-Man. Everything they've done to Ben Riley, except for like somewhat of that his own Scarlet Spider book, everything they've done to Ben Riley since 1996 has been fucking bullshit.
Well, so you know how he brought everybody to life, or all these old enemies to life.
Yeah,
Basically, anybody that Spider-Man couldn't save. For some reason, Electro was female now. Okay, um,
Electro. I
but
mean, there was a female Electro during the Ben Riley era. There was a
well,
female
when he
Doctor Octopus too.
no, but when he in the 616, he cloned Electro. It was supposed to be the male version, and ended up the female version.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's
But
right. He thought it was gonna be male Electro. That's right.
Um, but anyways, most of them die. Gwen goes off on this bomb, just killing everything. Um, so in the Gwenpool book, everybody's like, "Wait, why is Gwen Stacy back?" That is the blown up version.
Hmm.
That is the clone blown up, and she does not die during that arc,
I,
and she is staying.
See, this is what I'm saying, man. Like the lack of proper direction on this stuff. It's like there the fear of progression of the main character leads to this kind of nonsense. Without being able to take your actual main character through an entire character arc and have them grow and have them change and evolve, makes it so that you have to do that to these other characters, these other temporary throwaway characters that you develop, right? You can't kill, you can't actually kill, let's say, I don't know, Wolverine, right? Not permanently. So
Not permanent.
we create a dozen Wolverines in various kinds. So then you kill Wolverines off all the time, but it's never him. And then during the Krakoan era, Beast creates a whole army of Wolverines. So there's Wolverines getting their heads chopped off every other page. But Wolverine's still fine, right? It's this is what I'm saying. Like the fear of taking the main character through an actual proper character arc. I mean, literally, we were getting that build during Krakoa of Wolverine, him becoming like a little bit softer, a little bit more like paternal, right? He's got all these kids now.
Yeah.
He should want to be there for them. And then literally they're like, cool, Sabretooth War, and Sabretooth kills Akihiro immediately. Like dismembers him essentially in front of Wolverine. And I'm like, why though? That's it's like, oh, he couldn't kill Wolverine, but like let's kill another Wolverine. Like it's this, so like, oh, you can't actually progress Peter Parker. So sure, let's take this like weird one-off clone of Gwen Stacy, and now she gets to grow and evolve as a character and stay around in a new form. But Peter Parker has to be broke next week again, so don't forget to make sure he loses his job and all the other shit, and he pisses off his friends, so now he doesn't have any friends either. Like, you got to keep Peter Parker down. Peter Parker is the
He's got to beat him down.
Is the blackest white man in the world, man. The man is always holding him down.
And that's one thing when I write comics, I'm like, okay, even with Flurry technically being written by my buddy, I still had a direction of where things will end up. I make sure that, hey, this is the direction we're going. You can, mess with elements here and there, but he's going to tell me ahead of time what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not having that all get messy.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I always feel with Marvel and DC especially. It's like, I love your books, but please get your ducks in a row of what you want to get forward. Like Ultimates. You guys have pretty much, like, all these books aren't really like messing with each other's stories. Things are going in a straight and path to where you want it to go. Like, oh, that is comics. You need to know what's going on and not throw the reader going, oh yeah, by the way, this guy died for like the fourth time in a row. We brought him back. So it's like when somebody goes, wait, didn't he die? No, he died over here. It's like, okay, stop. You're throwing things in a totally different direction every single month, and it's like readers get tired of it. They
100%,
get tired of
100%.
that kind of stuff, and it's like, no, just I love reading like Venom. I love Venom, but my God, they don't. Al Ewing, one of the best. I would say when he gets to space and stuff like that, Al's writing is beautiful. But Venom, no idea no idea how to write Venom.
What you mean? It's like, what you mean? Space Venom was the best Venom. Space Knight Venom was the best Venom of all time.
We don't talk about space.
I will stand on this until the end of time. Null was a fucking cop out. Space Knight Venom, peacekeeping force of fucking symbiotes is the better fucking narrative. I don't want to fucking hear it. I hate that, dude. It's so funny to me. Like that's the thing is like every time somebody new jumps on, they want to do it right. So I was watching. Oh man, what's his name? He's on TikTok as well. I'm gonna put his name on the screen here because I forgot his name. But he does these really long, in-depth reviews and like introspectives on all these characters and their storylines. So he did the history
Yeah.
of symbiotes, right? And I think it was him that mentioned at one like during all the like shifting hosts, he he was with Flash, and then the
Agent
next
Venom.
yeah, and then the next number one they did, he wasn't with Flash, and it made no sense. And
He
I
was
remember,
with Rex.
and I was reading that, and I was like, who the fuck is this new guy? What is happening? Like, I was so confused. And so this like incessant need to like reset things, and it's like, oh, cool, like we did this Agent Venom thing that was super popular, super interesting, and then we did the Space Knight thing, and I was like, again, very interesting. I don't know if it was super popular, but like it was interesting. It was a new evolution of the character. It was a different take, right? And then it's
Yeah.
like, cool. Now in the next number one, it's just Venom like you used to know him back in the 90s. You know, he's got the big snarling teeth and shit. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was so confused. And he's doing this video and he talks about, like, oh, Venom left. Like, Venom had to resort to violence again and realize how much he liked violence. He was ashamed to go back to Flash. And I was like, that would have been super helpful on page. Like in the first issue, like some introspection from the symbiote. Like, I can't believe I had to do that. And I can't believe how much I liked it. And Flash will never take me back after that. You know, like just like the self-loathing of like, I am a monster. I don't want to ruin him because Flash is a good dude. That would have been awesome. We didn't get that. We got mobster murder for like an issue and a half. And then he switched again to a whole new fucking person. And I was like, that's when I stopped reading because I was like, this is kind of dumb. I'm not interested.
Well, let me tell you this. You you probably shouldn't have stopped because Venom went what you just said. Venom has been doing that since you stopped reading. Not even joking. He's still doing it. He get you probably know, but guess who his host is right now?
It's Eddie again.
Nope.
Oh, you talking about Mary Jane, but that's done.
Mary J.
After
And
Mary
he's
Jane,
still doing it. He's like I'm a horrible thing, this and like Mary Jane's like, yeah, you are. She's like, what the hell is this?
nah, that's another one that was like fucking weird. Like, why would you do that? First of all, Mary Jane has like deep standing canonical fucking trauma when it comes to Venom. So like, it makes no sense that she would even want to bond with the fucking suit, let
It
alone
was
that it would happen.
it wasn't a choice by either of them.
Yeah, but then she's like cool with it. Then she's like chill.
Oh,
And I'm
she's
like,
not cool with it.
I mean, I'm
She's
just
not.
saying, look, the artwork shows what the artwork shows. All right. I'm not saying she's happy about it. I'm just saying she's not as like terrified as she should be. Like, that's the thing is like there's like it's a classic scene where Venom shows up at the house and he fucking like scares the shit out of her. And that's literally she says, Peter, I'm gonna need you to stop wearing the black suit. And he's like, all
Oh
right,
yeah,
bet.
and
Cool. I'm gonna stop.
yeah, in the comic they show her like she wants nothing to do with it, but you're like because a lot of people are like, why are the two together? And you see why it was in Venom War, is that basically her super powered gadget, the jackpot thing, got all screwy and was trying to kill her. And the only way to not kill her was Venom had to bond with it. Because Venom was already going to die too.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
so
I
basically, if
mean,
either of
I
them
guess.
leave each other, they both die.
I suppose.
And Eddie Brock is Carnage right now for the same reason.
That's right. Eddie Brock is Carnage. What is he guys is cancer back again?
No, he like I said, that's the one thing that pissed me off with Al's writing is he got it to a point now where I'm like, what are you gonna do now? Because you did this whole they like back in time to do all this screwy stuff. Like they talked with Kang and stuff like that. Like it was a weird timeline story. But basically, uh, Eddie and Venom were both hit by this bullet, sword, whatever they want to call it. It was like a thing that it's like, oh, we're gonna slice you away from time, and this will kill you, by the way. And they just stabbed him, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
yeah, because he was the King in Black, and then
mhm.
somebody took him out. That's right. That's right.
And there was a, yeah, like I said,
And
it's a very
again,
messy and
it goes back to the this stuff is lazy because you keep
mhm,
going back to the same thing. And I'm like,
yep.
there's nothing wrong with like making these characters move forward. Like having Eddie be the King in Black and having different responsibilities and different things to do, that's interesting. There's stuff there. There's essentially infinite writing potential because you could do whatever you want because there is no restriction of like, oh, he's got to fight this person, but this person's over here doing this other thing, so you can't fight him. Like, you don't have to do any of that shit. He's in space. He's controlling symbiotes across the galaxy. Do whatever the hell you want with it. Like it could be an anthology series for a year where you just tell different Eddie Brock Venom stories where he's doing very interesting, diverse things on various planets. And then, like, if something
Which
catches from that,
uh,
you just follow that through line. Like, if you see a ton of fucking online, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I know marketing better than a lot of these motherfuckers at Marvel and DC. Cause it's like, to me, this is simple shit, right? You got to run something for a while and then see how the audience responds. You can't be like, oh, okay, we're going to do this for about 3 months and then we're going to change everything again. Or we're going to do this for 6 months and then change everything again. I think, and this is, I think, one of the biggest flaws in comics right now, which is where indie shines. You have the ability to plan out the next 5, 10, 20, 50 fucking issues if you want to, and then just do that thing. Whereas Marvel's
yep.
like, all right, we're going to hire this person. They're going to be on this book. And then it's like sales start like getting mid, and it's like, not good enough. We got to hire a different writer, and now it's going to be a new number one. And it's like, we could hear me out. Just let a motherfucker cook. Like, let someone just do something for 2 years. You got the money. Spider Man's not going to stop selling. It's Spider Man. Like,
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
dude,
It don't matter who's on it. It's gonna
I'm
always
saying
sell.
put whoever, dude, that's the thing that they should be doing with like the mainline books every once in a while. See someone in like the indie space or somebody who's a good writer outside of comics and be like, hey, you want to do like a run? We'll give you 12 issues. Just do a year, figure out what you want to do, and you'll do it in the main X-Men book. Not some fucking
Yeah.
offshoot shit, not some Infinite Comic shit. We're gonna put you on X-Men. We're gonna put you on Amazing Spider-Man. Give me 12 great issues in your genre. That's what they did with fucking what is his name? He did in Identity Crisis for DC. My goodness,
I
what's his
don't know.
name? Regardless, the guy who wrote Identity Crisis is literally a like a murder mystery, like a political murder mystery thriller kind of writer. I read one of his books after I read Identity Crisis because I was like, oh, he's got like a whole library of books. A lot of his stuff is very like political thriller, like that's kind of the genre
Yeah.
he sits in. And but like most of them are murder mysteries, and I'm like, that's why this is such a good murder mystery. Like that just is what it is. This is a good murder mystery. And you got to give somebody like that a chance. If somebody's like really good sci-fi writer, put them on an X-Men book and let's just see what they can do with 12 years of a sci-fi driven X-Men story. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you most sci-fi writers have read or understand X-Men to some degree. And then you just give them here's the book, here's the rules, and then just let them fucking fly and don't play it into the fucking next crossover because that's the other problem, right? Every year we got to do a crossover. So hey, we're going to let you do we're gonna let you do a year on Spider-Man. However, like at issue 7, he's got to be doing this thing because we got to put him in this other thing that we're gonna be doing as a crossover. And it's like, well, then that's not really me writing a year of Spider-Man, is it? You know what I mean? Like that's like me filling time until I could do your crossover. Like that's
Well, in most crossovers, I wish they would do what they used to do, where it was just like, hey, they just showed up. Okay, I don't need a reason why they're there. Especially if they're in the same area, it's like they're there. You don't have to, I don't have to tell you, oh, I'm going after this guy. If I can go meet this person to be over here. I'm like, no, just say you just went hunting out with this guy. I don't need to know about it. I don't need to read about it if I don't read this book. It's like I don't need to do that. And especially for people who collect physical issues, I don't need a random like Thor 38 to see where Spider-Man ended up
right,
and why it's important to the rest of this. I don't, especially collecting, it's like I don't want to do that as a
right,
reader. It's like,
right.
and most readers will be like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to do that."
And especially since most times, and I will say overwhelmingly most of the time, any crossover, the tie-ins are just okay at best. At
Hmm.
best. Very rarely is a crossover so tightly packed that like every tie-in really brings the story up and gives you more. It like really enriches the story. Like I think Civil War is one of those, right? You don't have to read those stories, but if you do, you get a lot more of the same thing, right? You get the same kind of debates, the same kind of conflict, and the same kind of the same like characters that are being expounded on, and now you understand why this is happening this way or why this person is there, right? But you don't need that to read the main thing. And as much as I hate Secret Empire, it was well crafted because all of these Secret Empire crossover books, the tie-in books, they all took these characters and literally in issue 1, they're like, "Oh, we got to go do this." And then in issue 2, they come back and it's like, where were they? That was over there. And they come back and they're like, they have the thing, they have the MacGuffin or whatever the thing was, right? So
Yeah,
it's like if you want to read that, you want to find out why they behave this way now or why they have this thing or how they got it, now you can go and do that. Whereas
yeah,
with like an Axis, it was just like Axis was a thing, and then like, all right, for a few issues, we like flip some personalities and whatever, like not a big deal. Like it just
like
wasn't.
Carnage is a hero.
Yeah, right. And
Why?
like we're just gonna do some weird shit for a few issues, and then we're gonna set it back to normal, and then we're gonna say that Sabretooth's actually a hero now, but in reality, he's really still a murderer inside. Like it again. I would love for them to have kept Sabretooth a hero. Just like, cool.
Yeah,
Now we have a completely different dynamic. Now we have Wolverine, who has deep seated trauma with Sabretooth, having to work with Sabretooth. Man, that's an interesting dynamic, right? Not not like Betsy basically being like, I don't fucking believe that you're a hero for 12 issues of the Uncanny X-Men title with Magneto. And then him being like, you know what? You're fucking right. I'm a fucking monster. Like, I was like, damn, man. Like, first of all, what a hating ass bitch. Like you're just gonna be like hating on this.
yeah, that's
Like this is like a magical telepathic change of mind and personality, and you're gonna be sitting there like, nah, it didn't work on you. You're fucked up.
yeah, that's one reason, especially when I read Marvel nowadays and I look at the stuff I'm writing, I'm like, okay, we got to do this better than they do.
Yeah.
Like with Harrier, that's gonna like she showed up technically in Flurry 2. Her secret identity self, she
Hmm.
just was there for like a few pages. But with Flurry 3, she's gonna play a whole part in that whole issue. But it's mostly gonna be like, oh, she's with this person that she's been with her whole run, and that's why she's there. I don't
Right.
have to explain more. It's like, no, you screwed Flurry screwed something up. and now Harrier and her have to go fix it.
Right.
And it's
And-
like, no, I don't need it. You don't need to read, um, you know, all of Flurry to know, well, is it going to affect Harrier 6? No, it's not. Maybe she'll reference something of what she did and you can go back to it, but it's not going to be something crazy that you need to go back to.
Yeah, and I'm watching Daredevil right now, and I've been saying that that's one of the big things that uh James Gunn is doing really good with the new DCU compared to like what Marvel has been doing. I think they're getting a little bit better, but we're still kind of early in this like new approach to the way they do stuff. But they are like James Gunn was like from the first project, it's like seeds of all this other stuff, right? And then in
Mm-hmm.
Superman, we see a little snippet of Peacemaker, right? And then we talk about all these other things. And then in the new Peacemaker season, we see the Justice Gang, right? There's all these little connecting threads. And it's not a big deal. Like the Justice Gang portion of Peacemaker has nothing generally to do with it, just like reinforces the status quo of the character. So
Yeah.
he's in a shitty mood. He feels bad about himself, and like his interview with the Justice Gang just reinforces that. It doesn't really change anything. It doesn't like, but like we just get a reinforcement as readers or as viewers that this is
Yeah.
all happening in the same place, right? Peacemaker being on a TV screen for 10 seconds, 5 seconds in Superman just puts it in your head like this is all the same place. That's all it is, and that's all it needs to be. And that's why I like that, right? You're like, hey, you don't have to read this other thing, but we can't ignore the fact that Harrier exists in this universe. And if
Yeah.
something gets fucked up, she's gonna maybe need to step in and take care of this thing. Right. That's why I was when I started watching the new season of Daredevil, I was like, if they don't make mention to anything else, because like that was kind of the big thing with the Netflix seasons, is they really didn't
Yeah.
mention other stuff. Like kind of a general, the big guy was like instead of Hulk, because I guess Hulk
Yeah.
was you couldn't say the word Hulk for some reason, the big guy and like the one with the shield or like the one with the armor, like what the fuck? Like we know who you're talking about. And then so I was like, all right, if like somebody doesn't ask him about the sexy lawyer on the West Coast, if someone does, if there's not something, and I don't need a whole episode, I don't even need 5 minutes. I need a wink, a nudge, a nod, right? And
Like
we get
Spider-Man, Daredevil.
yeah, yeah. He was just there. He caught it. I'm a really good lawyer. That's amazing. That's
Okay, bye.
amazing.
I'm
We
here
never
and
saw
I'm
him.
gone.
Yeah, we've never saw him again in that movie, which is great, which is exactly like how much we should have seen him. Because that's a proper cameo. Because that's the thing. It's the other thing, right? When they start making these movies, they're like, oh, we gotta have these cameos, and everyone like has a role to play. They don't have to. They don't have to. Like I always go back to this. Like one of my favorite like cameo moments in a comic book was a Christmas episode of X-Men or Christmas issue of X-Men, and they're just out in New York. Everyone's kind of gone their own way. They're all doing shopping, and there's just a scene where I think it's like Bishop and Beast and Trish Tilby like going somewhere to go shopping, and they pass by a dude in a trench coat, and you see just like the center of white, and it kind of looks like a skull. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's the Punisher. Cool. And that's it. It doesn't have to be a thing. Like he's also in New York. That's all you need to know. And like this is the kind of thing. But like, so I'm glad that they did it. Right? They were like, Kingpin was talking about. Excuse me, Mayor Fisk was talking about. Was
Wait,
talking.
was this like the sixth time he's been mayor this so far?
Well, no, in the MCU, the first time, but like
Oh, okay. I was thinking comics. How many times has he been mayor?
I think only the one time.
Really?
Yeah, I think only the one time, which was the recent one. And the way that ends is kind of how I hope this ends, is at the end of Fisk's run in the comics, Luke Cage became mayor. And I was like, that would be a great way to bring back Luke Cage. Make Luke Cage the next mayor. Oh my God, that'd be incredible. But
And
like,
they've done almost nothing with that. And at least I haven't seen a book where they've done it
they've
yet.
they've sprinkled it and they've like shown some elements of it. But everyone just keeps kind of um everyone just keeps kind of like finding cheeky ways to have him like still do superhero things. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that, right? We don't have, because they have him
Yeah.
like put on masks, because I think for a while, maybe even still in the comics, technically vigilantism is illegal in New York, right? Like, so he couldn't be out there doing vigilante shit. So he had to put like a mask on, but it's like, it's very clearly him. Like, like,
Yeah, because he's in Venom with Robbie and I think it's Sam. I can't remember the other character. He's mostly a Hulk character. I cannot remember his name, but I'm like,
oh,
what the
Doc
hell is
Samson,
going on? Yeah, yeah.
Doc Samson, Robbie
I'm
Reyes.
like, what's up?
You said Robbie Reyes, like the
No,
Ghost Rider.
no, uh, uh, Daily Bugle, Robbie,
Oh, Robbie Robertson.
Robertson. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, he's
Oh, that's right, because he's
him
like his
with,
like chief of staff or whatever. That's right.
and I'm just like, oh, what is going on here? This is so backwards. Like, why are we got all these characters here? And I'm like, this makes zero sense because like the beginning of the book, they're like playing Clue of who's the new Venom. Like nobody knows who the new Venom is, and you
Right,
get like
right.
four choices, and then like you get to issue 5, and it's Mary Jane. None of the choices. I'm like,
Yeah, which is
what
also
was the point?
somebody literally uh did that analysis from like a mystery storytelling perspective, and they're like, it's disingenuous, like it's a
Mhm.
bullshit cop out to use no one that was an actual suspect, because you have to give the reader an opportunity to like be the detective and make the discovery. Like you have to
Yeah,
give
and
them the
it's
opportunity. And if it's none of the options on the table, you're doing a bad job as a writer. And I was like, that's fair. That's fair. I've been there, like been in a position where I'm reading something and I'm like, oh, I think this is where it's going to go, and I'm wrong, but that keeps me engaged, because then I'm like, oh, what about this? What about this? Right? Like, especially in a murder mystery. That's one of my favorite experiences reading a book was. This is going to make me sound very silly, but James Patterson's First to Die, the back third of that book, every chapter I kept guessing as to who the killer was, right? And I'm like, oh no, now I
yeah.
got it, right? And it's this person. Then you read the next chapter and it's like, oh no, that means it can't be him. All right, cool. So it's got to be this person, right? And then it's just like I kept being that until the end, and I was like still caught unawares, because like I missed. And as soon as they said it, but I was like, that I saw, now I see it. I see I see the breadcrumbs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing for me, is like it's got to be an interesting thing, and you got to be able to connect those dots back. So if you read that fifth issue and we're like, where was the setup for this? That that's where is how did we get to this? That makes no sense. So
And
like,
so
yeah,
it's even worse when you're like, oh, and for some like so they're going through it, right? And they're trying to set you up of who's where, and oh, we can cross them off this list. Well, I think it was issue 2 or 3, and Venom's in the street, and somebody shoots a bullet at him, and I go and he makes this hole in his head, and the bullet goes right through, and you're like, oh, well, Luke Cage would, would it's not Luke Cage because he would have taken that bullet straight to the dome, and I'm just like, somebody doesn't know how Venom's powers work, where bullets he doesn't need to bounce bullets because they go right through him or into him and don't do anything anyways.
right.
And that's where inconsistency, I'm like, in story writing and like knowing your character, I'm like, where's the editor and all this? I go, you should be on top of this. Like, hey, you wrote this. This makes no sense for this character. And tell that writer, like, be upfront with them. Like, don't get me wrong. I love your creativeness, but this doesn't make sense.
Right.
And
You
that's
have
one
to.
reason I love Stephanie Phillips writing, because she knows her characters so well.
Stephanie
Like
talks.
everything I've wrote so far.
Stephanie's been talking a lot of shit. I went to Alley Cat Comics in Chicago, and they had like a big trade sale this last summer, and I think half my stack was Stephanie Phillips books, and
because
I'd see it and I was like, all right, that looks good. And then I was like, all right, that looks good. Like,
she's even writing the Spider Gwen, the new one, and they talk about the
right.
cosmic cube, bringing her here, this, and I'm like, that probably wasn't her choice, but she's
No,
just like, cause she,
100%. I promise you that that will have a big part to play in Armageddon. They'll probably like do another fucking dust off and wipe out we'll be on the ninth cosmos or whatever. Like will they reset all the
yeah,
cosmoses? And that's the other fucking thing, right? With all these resets. And again, this is where indie shines because you aren't forced to do any resets. You aren't doing this like large, like the scale is not so large that it gets lost and then you
yeah.
have to at some point you have to hit a reset button, right? The scale is not so big. You can actually write a good story and then write it as long as you want to write it, and then tie in what you want to tie in and not tie in what you don't want to tie in, and it's all there. And I don't know, maybe it changes after 15, 20 years, after 40 years of writing. After 40 years of writing, Harrier, you might be like, man, there's too many loose ends here. Maybe we just hit a fucking crisis, maybe we just do some sort of universal reset. But, also maybe not, especially if you're maintaining. But if you bring in a dozen writers and you, in the next 30 years, you have a dozen or 2 dozen titles that have all fucking done their own thing and there's been crossovers and other things. And at the end, you're like, all right, cool, I want to do this new thing. But it's like, it doesn't make sense with where they're at. It doesn't make sense with where they're at. You might get to a point where you decide like, all right, if we just clean sweep, start fresh, then I could do the thing I want to do and then kind of give everyone a new jump off point. I don't know.
I,
I don't
I
know.
think I think Marvel doing a fresh reboot reset, um, not going crazy, but like trying to still keep that consistency. I'm like, it can be done, but you have to have a team of editors that are like on top of everything to
Yeah.
make sure it
Yeah.
goes as planned. Because I go one misstep and you're toast,
Yeah. Then that's
and
that's what happened with New
you're gonna
52.
see things fall off.
That's what happened with New 52, right? We had a ton of stuff that didn't make sense, right? You had the incongruities between the Action Comics and Superman books, right? One was like the
Yeah.
backlog, the backstory of the other, but then also after a while, not like it was very much a strange kind of setup. And then the Batman team, because Morrison was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna finish Incorporated no matter what you do. Like I'm writing this, and you're gonna pay me
Yeah.
for it." So it was they literally were halfway done with it, and DC was like, "All right, we're gonna do this reset," and Morrison was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just keep doing this. You guys do what you need to do." So then they're like, "Well, shit, for this to make sense, he has to have already had Robins and all this other stuff." And so that's why at the beginning of the New 52, which is canonically 5 years after the first appearance of the Justice League, where I believe there was no Robin, in the 5 year gap, Batman has gone through 4 separate Robins. And Jason Todd has died and been resurrected. That's wild. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's kind of crazy.
that's why when you have these like disparate decisions, and then it's like, oh, but also Red Robin was like Tim Drake was never like a real Robin. He's like Red Robin, and then all this like it's just this whole thing like that you have to like start like explaining shit away that if you had just sat down and planned it a little stronger, you wouldn't have had to do that. Like
And they
realistically, if they had
didn't
just ran,
Rebirth was messy too. I don't know
yeah,
if you
of course, Rebirth was
they
messy because New 52 was messy. So then when they reset again, but then kind of not really, then it's like, well, these things did happen and these other things didn't happen, and then it's like, kind of, it's been since the 2011 universe, but also not. And then also then like they had another event, and then it's like actually all the other stuff did happen. So like all the 90s stuff happened, and then I'm like, bro, like how can it can't all have happened because what so two different, two drastically different doomsday arcs happened. You can't. Like you gotta pick.
Well, and then the Superman is the original Superman. Uh, the like I was like, wait, what? Because they actually killed off the 52 one. They
Yeah.
killed off his Lois, and
Yeah, because she
the
became Superwoman and then she died.
yeah she and then Lana is a Superwoman.
Yeah.
She still exists. I was like, okay, there's a lot of things happening, and then oh, by the way, we had this really good Superman run with his son. We're gonna speed up his son's aging by like 10 years. I'm like, okay, somebody in the editing team needed to go, no, like, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very like I would have loved to see Superboy try to be the hero of Metropolis during Superman's absence, right? Superboy and then like the rest of the super family, like bring John back and like make sure Natasha's around. Like there are other supers that can be there for that. And it really felt like, oh, we're doing this. Like I really don't know why they did it. But then when they put him like, oh, he's Superman now, I was like, I mean, okay, I guess.
His I read
17-year-old Superman? Like, this is kind of a weird.
Yeah, I read about I think 5 to 6 issues of it. I do have the whole, or at least I did have the whole run. I think I sold it, but I was kind of interested in it, but at the same time, I'm like, I need more, like, I need more of him, like, trying to still figure this out. And it felt like he was just like running from one crisis to the other. And oh, by the way, I've grown interest of this guy. I'm like, okay, don't get me wrong, that's cool, but you're supposed to be learning how to be Superman, and it feels like you're not doing that at
And
all.
that's why I think making him Superman was the mistake. Like you could have easily just had him be Superboy and say Superman's gonna be out for a minute, and like Superboy can have the romantic entanglement.
Yeah.
Superman really can't. Super I don't care what anybody says. Superman married. Superman married.
Yeah.
Like you can't have Superman trying to figure out how to ask someone out. Like, nah, we got shit to do. We got worlds to save. But like Superboy can make errors. Superboy can fumble, right? And
Yeah.
Superman can fumble as well, but like they're bigger stakes, people die, and then it's like bigger conversations have to be had. But it just like yeah, I mean that run was definitely an interesting choice as how they portrayed John's character. But like that's the thing is there's always everybody wants to play with different toys, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
People go back to reference like the Claremont X-Men run for a reason, right? Because if you let someone
Yeah.
do a book and headline and direct the storyline of a group of characters for a I think it was like 10, 15 years. It was like a long time. Like you give them that space, you get great moments. Yeah, you get some okay or middling moments, sure, but like that's the arc, right? That you can't as much, people the same problem people had with the MCU after Endgame. Oh, nothing's like Endgame. Yeah, because you
It
can't
reset.
because you can't
You
keep
can't go
doing this.
back.
You can't keep doing this. You gotta come down. Like that's not even how a narrative structure works, right? There is rising action and falling action, right?
Yeah.
Our Spider-Man uh Far From Home, that was our falling action. And now we're back down to like, all right, cool. Peter Parker's kind of in some shit, and like we're kind of back on the ground again. Peter Parker's in
You're back to
trouble.
setup.
Yeah. So like the fact that people were like, oh, it's just not as good as Endgame. Of course it's not. You can't expect the culmination of 10, 15 or 10 years of story to be and mind you, the best executed large scale film in history. Like, you can't expect anything to measure up to that when it's one character or two or three characters, or even the Eternals, which was a very esoteric kind of title to begin with. So to try to make that palatable for the mass audience was already a difficult job. But like, it's a
Yeah.
good movie. I don't care what anybody says. Like, that's a good movie.
I fell asleep with it like three
It's not
times.
Endgame. It's not Endgame. Of course it's not. But I like it. I like it for what it is, and I like it for what it could have set up if someone knew how to copy paste a fucking script. Because apparently it's so hard to write a Blade script. And I
Yeah.
promise everybody at Marvel, everybody in the audience would have been like, oh, it's the same movie, but with Mahershala Ali. Cool. And we would have watched the shit out of it.
Oh yeah.
Because if
100%.
you had just copy pasted Blade 1 and just made it with Mahershala Ali, nobody would have been mad about it. And you could just
No.
spring, instead of Whistler, now it's Black Knight and he's trying to figure some shit out while Blade's killing vampires.
Oh yeah. And
Like,
that's the one thing I always of like, hey, people who are coming into this comic book movie area, go find a writer that worked on that series. Like, oh, uh, trying to just think off the top of my head. I'll just say Chip. Hey, you wrote Spider-Man. What should I be trying to do here?
yeah,
Like, what kind of mixtures can I play with here that make a good Spider-Man movie in your eyes? And it's like, if you do that, you can come up with something crazy. I
right.
go, but you need to know your character well
100%.
enough.
100%.
And I think that's why they've been kind of, I don't want to say falling off, because most of the projects they have had have been pretty accurate, not 100%, but they've been pretty close. Um, I think the only one's probably Miss Marvel power wise, I would say.
Oh,
She
I mean,
Hulk.
I'm not even a trip on like comic accuracy. That's, to me, that's not even a big deal because Guardians wasn't comic book accurate at all.
No,
They
but
ch-
I think
they
that's
changed them
I
to
think
that in
that's
the comics because the movie did so well. Because that's the other thing, right? You could either go and be like, hey, what's the source material? How who let me ask like the top three guys who had done it, and like, oh, she wrote this. Let me ask her what the best beats are. Or you say, all right, here's my like base, here's the Wikipedia article for every one of these characters, and then be like, all right, I'm gonna fucking smudge this up, and I'm gonna take the major beats, but then I'm gonna do my own thing, which is what James Gunn did in Guardians, right? It was like, cool, we did this like loner out in space. I think it was like, all right, cool, we're gonna dump everything else. The like space cop, grizzled veteran, like that shit. We're not doing that. We're doing a different thing. We're just like kidnapped from Earth, loner in space, does his own thing. Got it. Cool. Now he's gonna be
yeah,
funny. Like that's what he did, right? And it's like, oh, weird little animal guy. Cool. I don't care about anything else. Little raccoon guy. Got it.
yeah,
Like, it's just like you just take these like major beats and then do your own thing, but commit to it. It'll work, right? Same like with Ms. Marvel, right? Ms. Marvel, yes, the power set changed, but they took every other beat almost verbatim.
hmm
So then it's like, hey, this one change is different, yes, and it does mean different things for the character. And I get why people, like some people were
we'll
upset
see
about
where it
it,
goes.
but also it was an incredible presentation of the source material. It like I've said this many times and I'll say it again. I am Muslim adjacent, right? I was like
Yeah,
raised Muslim, but even to say that, like we were never in mosque, we were never like we were like passerby Muslim, our whole family, right? So when I saw Ms. Marvel and just being able to see a Muslim family just be Muslims, just like this is just people
yeah,
being people, and they happen to be Muslim, and I'm like, dude, it hit something in a corner of my spirit that I didn't even know needed attention. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, and then also the educational aspect of it. How many people didn't know about the partition until that? 90% of them. if not 99% of the people that watch that show were like, what the fuck's a partition? Boom, boom, boom. Literally, the highest, after that episode, the highest search term on Google was India, Pakistan partition. Like, no one knew about that. I hadn't known about that. And I knew that they used to be one country, but I didn't know what happened. Because it was one of
Yeah,
those, like, if you're into history, you know, otherwise at best you might have an inkling. So then when it was like this, and it was like, here's on screen like what it looked like and what it maybe felt like, and it's like, shit. So then people got curious, and that to me was like an excellent presentation of the source material. Same thing with the Eternals, really.
because
The Eternals is a very like esoteric, like, we're these, you know, tools of these gods, and then it's like the tools are fighting. Imagine if your fucking hammer and your wrench were duking it out in the fucking toolbox. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that's what that movie is. It's like your tool set's having a fucking fight to decide what you want to build. Like, but it's like, but it's told
somehow interfered.
right. And then
Wait,
it's like,
what do you mean? What do you mean? I've been building this thing, and you tell me my tools while I was somewhere else
right,
getting wrecked by new projects? Oh,
right.
hold on a
I'd be
second.
pissed too. I'd be pissed too. I'm Team Arishem, goddammit. Like, I'm making judgments. I'm fucking making decisions now. I'm gonna see if y'all just deserve to
Yeah,
stay alive. And that's the thing. Like,
yeah, because that's the
there's a lot of variety in into what they've done, and but also like they take some liberties from the source material, but still make it interesting. I like what they did with Taskmaster. I think it's bullshit that they killed her off in fucking Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
What a wasted fucking moment. It was like, why even
Especially
include
like
her?
you got the whole new suit, just going at it, and then I was like, okay, cool. They're revamping Taskmaster. I wasn't a big fan, but I'm like, it can start out bad, but you can finish it so strong somewhere
Sure.
else. And I'm like, all right, let's see this, and then boom, I'm like, what the hell was that?
And then the fact that it became a joke immediately.
Hmm.
I was like, why even, dude, why would you even hire her for that?
Yep.
Just keep the suit closed and do a stunt double.
It was like
Like,
as good as that film was, that moment I'm just like,
yeah,
why?
that's the thing. Like that, if I'm sitting back and analyzing the whole movie, that moment really sours the movie for me, because like the rest of that movie's fucking great. Fucking great. Like, I would say, is it so of the four? Let's jump into this real quick. Let's
Okay.
I've been trying,
Let me get adjusted real quick.
I've been trying to like include this to get a little reaction from people, get a little spice from people.
Okay.
So from 2025, so this is our first podcast of 2026. From 2025, we had the four superhero films. We had Captain America: Brave New World. We had Thunderbolts / New Avengers. We had Superman. We had Fantastic Four. Rate those movies in order for yourself, sir.
Ooh, that's tough. Okay, so number four, I enjoyed it a lot. It's going to be Captain America.
Okay.
Thunderbolts is going to be next. Love it, but like I said, there's some moments that I'm just like, weren't quite hitting there. But overall, I thought it was very well put together, and I'm excited to see the future of it. The next two, oh man, oh man. I mean, both of them were lights out amazing. I'm gonna go with Superman, and it hurts to do that, but there were some things that I'm like, okay, I needed you to make him a little, maybe a little stronger in moments, or a little, like, just little things, and that's a pet peeve, I think, more than anything.
Sure.
But because the movie was incredible, every bit of it. But Fantastic Four, I have no pet peeve, nothing I can
Wow.
nitpick. It was spectacular. And then just the ending, seeing what's coming, I'm like, oh, I'm so ready for more.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for more.
Yeah. That's all. That's good. I fully expect that for that. I mean, it's a short list. Realistically,
It
2025 was
is.
not a huge, right? And we're kind of moving into that direction. We're not going to get a ton of projects. But like I think I'm gonna have to start including TV stuff, right? To make it a little more interesting, make it a little get a little zest in there, right? Because Daredevil, I still haven't finished. And I don't know what it is, honestly. Like I remember following through the Netflix seasons back in the day.
Let me say a hot take real quick.
Go for it. Go for it. Yeah. I want
I'm going to
I
add to that
crave hot
movie list
takes.
and add a TV show. Daredevil to me was below Captain America.
Ooh, okay, okay.
And,
So I'm like
and
I'm three, am I four episodes? I think I'm 4 episodes in. So far, it's good. I would so far for myself, I would definitely have to agree with you. I would put it fifth out of that list. Um, I yeah, I mean there's just elements of it. The thing is the performances are still stellar. Like I think he still does an incredible job as Matt. He does an incredible. I mean, he's been Daredevil for all 12 seconds, and that's my big pet peeve with the Daredevil formula now.
yeah,
Because okay, cool. The first like half of the season, 3/4 of the first season, he doesn't have a suit. Gets a suit. Is in the suit in season 2. So season 2 is the only season we got actual Daredevil. And then he dies in Defenders, dies. And then he comes back and he doesn't have a suit again. And literally in season 3 of Daredevil, Bullseye spent more time in Daredevil's suit than Daredevil did. And now we're in a new season and it's like he was Daredevil for a minute and a half at the beginning and now he's just Matt Murdock. And I'm like,
and that's the best part of the show, right there. You don't even need to read. You don't need to watch the rest because like it's like there's. I'm sure you already know the main villain of it, aside from Kingpin. Um,
oh,
but
he just showed up. He just showed up. I just finished watching
okay,
the episode where he goes to get Frank, and he gives
like
Frank a bunch of shit.
like the villains in it are very good. The problem is they do not give them really enough time with even Daredevil to really make it worth them even being in it. And I go, it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, you're spending too much time in different places. And I get it's a TV show, so you could have more development later. But I go, you need to specifically pick someone to be that main antagonist for this season. And
Right.
it felt like they were going back and forth between like 3 to 4 different options.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the thing is, I just so like I said, I just watched the conversation with Frank, and I remember the first episode ending and Bullseye being gone, like missing from the scene of the crime, like after he threw him
Yeah.
off the building. And then Frank's like, "Oh, he's in jail?" And he's like, "He got life." And I'm like, "When was the trial?" Like,
Oh, you're talking about when Daredevil throws him off,
yeah,
or
yeah. When
he got
Daredevil
he got
throws
sick.
Bullseye,
Like,
he like
but
opens his
not
eyes
Bullseye.
again, and I was like,
It
"Oh
was
shit!" Yeah, it was Bullseye at the
it
beginning.
wasn't Bullseye. Was it?
Yeah, yeah, it was Bullseye.
I thought it was somebody else.
No, no, no. It was in the first episode. It was Bullseye. Bullseye kills Foggy.
Okay, I thought it
Yeah,
was somebody else, but yeah, they
no, no,
never
yeah.
really stated that too much.
That's what I'm saying. Like they really didn't. Like the only reason I knew it was because of the like he was throwing shit. He was being like real precise. I was like, oh, okay, it's
Yeah,
Bullseye. And then he throws him off the thing, and I was like, damn, all right, so we're killing people out the gate. And then he opened his eyes. I was like, wait, what? Like I know he has a healing factor, but like that was a 4-story drop. Like you can't. Can't just open your eyes 30 seconds later. So he opened his
yeah.
eyes, and then the next shot when they went back down, he was gone from where he fell. So I was like, oh, he ran off. So now he's gonna be the like comeback. He's gonna be like the ongoing thing. He's like maybe he's looking for him or whatever. And then now, episode 4, and Frank's like, oh yeah, he's in jail. And he's like, he got life. And it's like, oh, okay, when did we catch him? Because he ran off. So like do I like have to fill in the gaps for myself? Is there a webisode that I gotta find somewhere on YouTube? Like how the hell? Like that's the thing is there is definitely a lack of storytelling in this. A lack of the narrative is not as strong as it should have been, and I think that goes very much to the we filmed this whole season before we included Foggy and fucking Was it Peggy? No, that's not right. That's not Peggy. It's something. That was her name.
I can't remember off the top of my head
Karen.
right now.
Karen
Karen.
Page. Page. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
I
Yeah.
was like, there's a P in there somewhere.
Yeah. Foggy and Karen weren't included in the original version. So
Yeah.
they went in and they did a bunch of reshoots to include them. And I'm like, all right, cool. But if that just fixed up like the first episode and like a little bit of the second, they're still not, 3 and 4, they're not in the show. Maybe she comes back, but like, and I think there's some inference that he comes back in some way. Regardless, my point,
There's a rumor that he will, but
yeah, but like
we'll see.
regardless, it's like, why did you even include them if the narrative of this story is not the revenge plot against Bullseye? Like it's not the Bullseye trying to be brought in for the crime that he committed, right? Like that's
Yeah,
because like it's like, oh, he threw Bullseye off the roof and now he's real upset that he did that and now he's not going to be Daredevil again. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. It's
well,
like it's
the story is that he's going after whoever set Bulls or whoever hired Bullseye. But the problem is it goes 20 different directions and then they throw a random villain there and then it's just like, okay, we
yeah, that
got
was it.
there, but it doesn't even matter anymore.
Muse or whatever. Is that what his name is?
Yeah,
I
Muse.
I saw.
There was no reason for him to be in
Well,
there.
there was also
There
no
was
lead up.
zero
It was like
reason for him to be in
he wasn't in 1 or 2. In 3, you just saw him for like a second, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Because I was like, wait, is that supposed to be Bullseye? Like, because I was like, and then I saw the Frank episode where he says he's in jail, and I was like, well, then who the fuck was the other guy? Because I haven't read that run of Daredevil, so like I
there.
don't
Yeah,
know. And it ends and it shows him again, and I was like, who is this character? And
yeah.
and then I found him. I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Then I was like, what is the narrative here exactly? Like, it's just Daredevil felt bad, so he stopped being Daredevil, and now he's like fighting crime, but he's also trying to not like what is the story here? Like, yeah,
Like I said, there's a lot of points in here that I'm like, why? Like,
yeah,
why did you like they even have White Tiger.
yeah. The White Tiger subplot
There
was,
was no reason to have White Tiger.
dude.
There was zero unless they meant to do something later with him.
The
I don't know
can I tell
because
you can I tell you exactly what it
actor
is?
died. But
You said the actor died?
yeah, the actor died who played White Tiger. He died. I think he died during when they were filming. He just died.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, maybe that's why they killed him off then.
Possibly, I don't
Regardless,
know. But
even if it wasn't if it was to account for that, or if it was planned, because the 90s White Tiger was his niece. So now I'm like, oh, the niece just got all his shit, and they like definitely zoomed in on the amulet as she like went away with it or whatever. As she like hugged Matt, they like zoomed in on the amulet. I was like, oh, okay, cool. She's gonna be on the Young Avengers or Champions or whatever they're gonna call it. Got it.
most
Cool.
likely,
I was
she'll
like,
be
yeah,
there probably.
yeah. So like we're building up the next thing, but it's like it feels super super sloppy. Like I don't know, man. I the fact that season 2 and season 3 are already like on the books, I'm excited for that. I want to see more. I think season 2 is already filmed or is being filmed.
Possibly,
Uh,
but that's why I put Daredevil at 5 because I'm like it was missing in so many different directions to me
yeah,
that I'm like story wise, it's like yeah, you got from beginning to end, but you could have done it so much better with less elements of just different random characters showing up. That I'm like this doesn't work,
and it doesn't even
and
fit the theme of the
you're lucky,
year. The
and
theme
you're
of the
lucky it
year
got to
is
the end.
yeah. I mean, the theme of the year is very much like dealing with your emotions in some fashion or another, right?
Yeah,
Captain America was definitely like dealing with anger, right? And it was
yeah.
like the villain was dealing with his anger. Uh, 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 Ross was dealing with his, right? There's a lot there, which is unfortunately that makes it not a Captain America movie because it wasn't about Captain America's feelings. Like,
I mean, he was just kind of like, I have to do all this stuff as Captain America. Like it was more, it was his own, it was Sam's own Winter Soldier, to where he trusted a government again, and it was stabbing him in the back again
yeah,
because of
kind
stupid
of.
stuff they did in the background.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it it definitely could have been a better movie. They should have made it Captain America versus the Serpent Society. That is like a very easy way to bring in like the just like kind of some classic Captain
Well,
America stuff.
from what
But
I read, they actually um, so the group that you see Sam fight is supposed to be the Serpent Society.
yeah, Giancarlo Esposito is Diamondback. No, not Diamondback. But yeah, he's one of them. Uh
But what killed me is like they brought in oh, I can't remember her name. She in the comics she's a
you talking about Sabra?
yeah. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
like, why did we bring her in when in Captain American Winter Soldier or Falcon Winter Soldier, whatever you want to call it? People use different names for it, but um, why didn't we go get Sharon? She was there
Oh, well,
to.
because Sharon's the power broker, so she can't be the president's bodyguard.
I mean, she
The
got
government.
pardoned. She got pardoned. Why not?
What do you mean? No, no, no. She didn't get pardoned for being the power broker.
Well, I mean, she got power. She got pardoned in the U.S. for blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So technically, you had a clean record, even though you could have been dirty. Ross plays dirty. I mean,
I
it would have
guess. Yeah, I
made
mean that's
sense.
not you're not wrong. But also, I would love for them to say that the power broker Sharon was a scroll. Because that is the one thing that I'll say, like with the new Daredevil, that's what I was saying earlier, like the sprinkling of the little elements where Fisk talks about like, oh, he was put in the hospital by like a former employee. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I watched Echo. I get that. I get why that's a reference, right?
Which that was such a
Or
good show.
or rather Hawkeye, because she did that in Hawkeye. But like
That
I
was pretty good too.
yeah, so like it's like, oh, I watched that, so like I know why that happened. Like I know what he's talking about. And then it's like also the when he opens the drawer or the door to like practice at the end of episode 4, you see the you see the gold mask. And I was like, okay, cool. So She-Hulk happened. Like you can't take that back no more. Right. So like, and then the one defendant being like, could it have been a scroll? And I was like, this is the first time we've referenced the fact that the president of the United States, the previous president of the United States, told the entire country and the entire world that there are fucking secret aliens hiding behind every corner, and that people started then murdering random people. Like the narrative, oh my god, like it's like since they started the secret invasion and then just never did the storyline because the show was man, the show was
Terrible.
such.
It was
I look,
bad.
I won't say it was terrible because I still enjoyed it. I think it should have been called anything else. You could have called it Nick Fury, Agent of Shield. You could have called it Nick Fury, Agent of Sword. You could have just called it Nick Fury. That would have been a better show. But like calling it Secret Invasion, literally, you could have ended that show, said Secret Invasion at the end, right? You could have had the president say like, "There's been a secret invasion of," right, just like a little, and then do an animated. It doesn't even have to be live action. You don't have to do live
Yeah.
action. Let's where we see all this like overreaction and people calling each other out and like all this crazy shit and like people facing consequences for these like wild things that they do because they think their neighbor's a fucking scroll and all this other shit, right? But now it's like been reduced to like a con man, like a repeat offender's joke. And I'm like, we never buttoned that story up. And like I actually dislike Sam Jackson a little bit because he said you needed to watch Secret Invasion to like watch the Marvels, and you didn't even a little bit. If
And I would like I expected
if his wife just showed up in that movie for a second, I'd be like, okay, now you don't know who she is and you don't understand why he just kissed the scroll lady. You know what I mean? Like, cool. All right, you need to have watched the show, but nothing, literally nothing. The only thing, and I have to write this story for myself for it to make sense, is the colony that she goes to defend. Uh, oh, this is where they took them when he said, "Oh, we're gonna find you an actual home." But like again, I had to write that story. No one told me that that's what happened. Like this is bad writing.
because I'm like, okay, in Secret Invasion, I'm like, okay, what we should get is a variation of there's there are scrolls that are bad that are pissed off about everything that's going on and taking it out on Earth.
Yeah.
Cool, simple format. That's how it should have been. But it got it like, and that was I think the idea they were going for. But I'm like, okay, first of all, Fury should be telling us first of all where the hell scrolls went because it's been since the 90s
Yeah.
that you went to do this. So we should know by now where the hell you put them. And I go, second, the one thing that pissed me off the most is Maria Hill dying. I got so pissed off.
How
I
that was,
cannot.
dude, you cannot kill off one of your longest running characters in your franchise in the first episode of something. Nah, the anger I felt when that wasn't a scroll, when that wasn't a scroll, I was like, you are out of your mind. I was so
and
pissed. I was
and
so
like
pissed.
and then on top of that, I'm watching these episodes and the uh what's his name ended up being a scroll. The guy that was in the
War
Black
Machine.
Panther movies. I can't remember his name. They call
But you're talking about the colonizer.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either, but he's definitely colonizer. No, he wasn't a scroll the whole time. He was a scroll in that scene. Because he was still in Wakanda Forever, and that was after.
So are there two different people then?
Yeah, I don't think he was. That was just dude trying to run away. Like at the beginning, you're
Okay.
talking about at the beginning when they kill him and he turns
Yeah.
traitor or whatever. No, I think that was just a scroll trying to like take on his role for a minute. No, I don't think it was it because he would have been released at the end. Because
Well, because they're like, oh,
Rhodey,
he's got this kid and this and that. I'm like, so how long has he been a scroll? Was he in Wakanda? Wouldn't they have checked his blood if he was shot by the? What is going like?
no,
And
no,
that's what
no,
I was
yeah,
saying.
100%,
There were
100%.
so many pieces that weren't being explained that
And
I'm
and
like,
the being
no,
shot wouldn't
you
have been a
need to
problem. They
explain
heal.
that.
Being shot wouldn't have
Yeah,
been a problem. They heal. What?
yeah.
Why did Telos die?
He
Why
got
did
shot.
why did Telos die? They heal.
He got shot. They got ambushed, and he got just
Nah, scrolls heal canonically. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, see, this is insane. This is what I'm saying. These like silly things, man. Silly thing. And like you said, they need somebody. But again, this is before they said, "Oh, we're gonna have showrunners." And when I heard
I
that, I
mean,
was
Maria
like,
Hill got shot, and
"But she
she didn't
wasn't a
heal. He
scroll."
was a scroll, right?
But she was. I wish she was. I wish she was. No, but
Yeah,
like,
and then
man, like
they
there's
don't explain Rhodey either.
they do. No, they explain Rhodey. They don't. They just don't say when he was taken, but he was still in his uh like exoskeleton thing. So it had to have been either right after Civil War. And I'm thinking that's when it was. I'm thinking it was right after uh maybe not Civil. No, yeah, it had to have been right after Civil War. So that means the
Well,
Rhodey and
the
Endgame.
problem
That
is
means the
so the
Rhodey and
one
Endgame was a scroll.
and he got turned to ash in a blip.
And he came back.
See, and this is
Because
the
again,
thing. I'm
because
like,
again, Hulk said everyone. He didn't specify James Rhodes. You know what I mean? So it still makes
yeah,
sense. It still
but I'm
makes
just like,
sense.
these are points that's like you need to make sure of your consistency. What the hell is going on? Because
Yeah.
now that TV series made way more questions than answers.
Yeah. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of like set some shit on fire and then like answer all the questions that you created. But you do have to answer those questions. Otherwise, that was just a bad show. Like that is
And that's pretty much what they did.
for me, that is absolutely the bottom of the barrel for the Marvel productions because
Oh,
it can't be worse than that. If anything comes out, it's worse than that. I'm like,
I think I got one.
nah,
I got
don't.
one.
You're gonna say Inhumans, and you're wrong. You're wrong. You're incorrect. Because
You
What
said
was
bottom of the barrel. I didn't say. I didn't. It was to me. It was matched with Secret Invasion. It
uh
wasn't below it. It wasn't above it. It was matched.
I put it above just because I love the Inhuman family. So I will put it above that, but that's my own prejudice. I will say probably from an analytical, perspective, uh probably yeah on the same level because the the shortcuts they took to make the production cheaper were unforgivable. Unforgivable.
Let's
Oh,
shave
oh,
Medusa's head by.
cool. You're gonna shave Medusa's head. Why not just have her kidnapped too? She's useless. She's useless narratively. Like, okay, cool. So now, at least then, oh, okay. So now Black Bolt has to figure out a way to communicate with other people because he doesn't have Medusa, right? That's a more interesting story. But like, oh, the one guy who would have to take either a lot of CGI or a lot of fucking prosthetics to make look good, he's kidnapped. He's missing. We don't know where he is. Okay, sure, fine. Triton's gone. All right, fine. And then it's like the other person who has the most interesting visual aesthetic is the big hair lady. And yeah, we're gonna have her get shaved in the first at the end of the first episode because that shit is real expensive. I'm like, I've seen some really, really nice wigs.
So I don't know in humans as much. Does Black Bolt have super strength?
Yes, Black Bolt has super strength. Black Bolt has yeah, I mean that's why when he like oh I guess
Because I thought he did, and then he's getting tackled by like one or two humans. I'm like,
well because his strength is tied, I believe, to his sonics and the suit, the fork on his suit, I believe channels his sonics into him as strength. If I'm recalling it correctly, it's been a minute it's
okay,
been a minute
I
since they've
don't. I've
published
never really
Inhumans
read too
comics.
much.
It's been a minute since I listen. There are some that I would definitely recommend. Um the Paul Jenkins, Jay Lee Inhumans, great fucking run. If you want something very much standalone, but like more sci-fi, more like kind of big grand sci-fi, the Inhuman series that had I forget who wrote it, but it was Jose Ladrone. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He did the art. It's incredible, but it's like very Kirby-esque, like lots of big, crazy machinery. It's been a long time since I've read that. I actually forgot about that series until
Okay.
I heard about it on a podcast again, and I was like, "Damn, that was a good series." But yeah, no, I mean, like, there's some gems, but if it's the the premise of the whole thing definitely requires you to like buy in because there's just a lot going on, especially post Secret Wars, everything they did with them, like fuck Ike Perlmutter for all time. Because like him pushing the X-Men to the background to try to push up the Inhumans, and then like breaking so
Because the
many.
whole Fox thing.
Yeah, because the whole Fox thing, it's like, oh, cool, we're not gonna give Fox anything, and then takes Human Torch, puts him in the Inhumans book, and he's sleeping with Medusa, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then it's like the inevitable, like fucking freak out by the sister. I'm like, oh my goodness, like this, it's like just like drama for the sake of drama, and I'm like, ah, so yeah,
Yeah,
no,
when Marvel got petty with Fox, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna
not,
cancel
no, no, no,
Fantastic
not
Four
Marvel.
and
Ike fucking
X-Men."
Perlmutter. Ike Perlmutter's bitch ass is the reason we have a lot of the problems we have. Dude, we could have gotten a really good Inhumans movie uh if Perlmutter just let fucking Feige do it in his time. But he was so fucking bent up on like, oh, you gotta give me an Inhumans movie. And then as soon as the fucking rules changed, as soon as the company got restructured, and then now Feige was in charge of everything, they're like, nah, fuck that. Put that shit on TV, bitch.
You know, you know what's funny though is we talk about a lot of the bad TV shows, but there's one movie that people hate, and they think it's one of the worst. And I'll tell you, like, yeah, story wise, it is a little goofy, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Whoa,
I
throwback,
enjoyed.
throwback.
I enjoy. I like. I'm not a massive Ghost Rider fan, but just that story in it, I'm like, I can just go with this. It's fine. It's nothing too stupid. I like the first Ghost Rider. I'm like, I got him driving these giant machines and he's on his bike. It's like he's doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, that's Ghost Rider. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is probably not the best to play Ghost Rider, but when we see Ghost Rider, man, it's it's awesome, and I wanted so much more out of it.
It was definitely it was a better movie than the first one, I will say. The first one was a little cheesy. It was a little cheesy, but
It was.
there's also a lot of cheese in the second one. Where like, hey, you guys got that like weird hunch, like, go back to hell. And he like pulls up the shotgun into the shadow and then it fires the fucking bullet. And I'm like, but once it leaves the shadow, isn't it gonna not be whatever? Like I was like, whatever, it's the bit. Um, like
Yeah,
it's a fun movie. I liked Agents. Agents is underrated, and the way I would bring back Maria Hill is you canonize Agents, and that's important because you have to
and
canonize
you
also.
do the Creed.
No, you have to canonize Agents, and you make all seven seasons canon because you have her wake up to see Phil Coulson, and he's like, "Hey, look, I did what I could last minute. Uh, you're not 100% complete." And then she's like, "What?" And then looks down, and she's still missing a leg because she's an LMD. And he's like, "Look, I could take you through all this. I've already ran through this adjustment. Just chill, relax. I can help you with this." Because he ended up being an LMD by the end of that series. So that's the way I would do it, and I would canonize it. Look, it's comic book shenanigans. There's no way to
Yeah,
not write yourself out of the mess of like the time travel nonsense. That shit's easy, dude. We've done so much time travel nonsense, easy, like no problems there. So to me, like there's no way to there's nothing that happened on Agents that precludes it from being canon. Nothing, because
it's true. There's really
all of the time shit gets erased. So it doesn't matter all the future shit they did. So it's like very much a situation of none of it happened. And then what that does is that gives you a chess piece back. Because if you remember, Talbot became fucking Graviton, which is a crazy shift from the comics. But you give Talbot, he left Earth to like try to preserve life.
yeah.
So now when we have Doomsday or Secret Wars or whatever, you have this ridiculously powerful chess piece you can play. Dude, be like, "Oh, hey, Quake, Graviton, cool, go." Like,
The one thing that I'm hoping we don't see, uh, and because I have a feeling they might do it because it's Marvel, is they'll have Hyperion come in versus Doom. Oh, this is gonna be crazy. And Doom for some reason is gonna tear Hyperion in half. Because for some reason Marvel likes to do that, and I don't know why.
no, but don't we? No, what we could get is a more grown up, more well adjusted Adam Warlock, right? Because he's on the Guardians at the end now, right?
Yeah,
So if he shows up with the
the
Guardians,
new Guardians. Yeah,
yeah. So post whatever, because obviously I think the main cast is set for Secret Wars. I mean, obviously, or not Secret for Doomsday, because Doomsday I'm pretty sure is done filming, or at least mostly. Uh,
it's I think it's done.
so like the cast is set for that, but like I'm very confident in saying that this is going to take the same cadence as Infinity War and Endgame did. At the end of this, the majority, if not all of these cast members will be incapacitated or killed or whatever's going to happen. And then we will come back to the next movie where we have a whole new set of people, which will include the new Guardians. It will include Star-Lord, because I don't think he's on the list right now, or maybe he is. Regardless, I'm just
We
saying,
we
like,
don't know because they never released more chairs after the first round.
but so
Um,
but he wasn't in it, right? Chris Pratt? I don't think he was in it. Maybe
I
I'm wrong.
don't
Maybe
think.
I'm regardless.
Yeah.
Like I think you have this opportunity to bring back like and bring in a whole other set of characters because like I've said this before. There's a buddy of mine at work that we're talking about this. I'm like, the X-Men cast is real light on their melanin. Just like 5 white people got brought over. Like, how come all the black people died? Where all the black people's at? Like, where's my storm at? You know what I mean? Like, come on, give me some more flavor out of the because there's so many great X-Men characters, even ones we didn't see. Dude, I would bring Danny and I would bring Magic in from New Mutants. Fuck it. Why not? Like you own the
Uh,
movie, it's your shit. Like who cares? You published it. It was on Disney Plus, still is. Bring them in. What's Anna Taylor-Joy doing these days? Give her a millie for a fucking afternoon, shoot a couple scenes. You know what I'm
why
saying?
not?
Like you're doing
I
all this
think.
crazy shit as it
Uh,
is. Just keep doing crazy shit. That's what made Superman and Fantastic Four great, in my opinion. They they played so heavily into like this is comic books, these are cartoons. Like
mhm,
just have fun. And it's like there's just like both of those movies treated you like you could figure some shit out as a viewer. They didn't spend
yeah.
10 minutes explaining everything and how he said he said pocket dimension. Okay.
Pocket
He
dimension.
said, he
Cool.
said black hole down the at the end of the river of antimatter. Okay.
You know what's funny is I think that black hole is actually they're gonna end up using it as the Phantom Zone
Oh, could be. Yeah, could be.
because they don't specify. But I'm like, I guarantee that
Yeah,
place that they're going in is just the Phantom Zone.
because I will be a little salty if Superman does not have any sort of regret. Like clone or not, he killed that dude. You know what I mean? Like, unless he knows something that other people don't, that black hole isn't like the end of existence, and
Well,
it's something else. And like, if he has some information that like, oh, it's actually a portal and it goes somewhere else or whatever, cool. But if he doesn't have that information, I'm gonna need some sort of little bit of regrets in the next one. You know, a little bit moment of like, I wish I could have figured out a way to not throw him in there. You know, something like just something to be like, he feels bad that he had to take this dude out. He was gonna kill him if he didn't. It was 100% self-defense. Like no one's gonna be
oh
upset
yeah,
about it. But like
But Superman
he's
always has had that thing where he doesn't kill, or he will kill like just regular aliens or robots or just anything that he sees as just mindless. He doesn't. He it always seems he does. He has this rule where he's like, uh, yeah, you don't really have what I would call life, so I can kill you. And I'm just like, oh, so you don't have a no kill rule? Got it.
I mean, I could definitely see it that way because he was being essentially remote controlled. So like there wasn't
Mm,
really that much of a brain there. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
It could be interesting. I just feel like, especially the Superman we got on screen would have some sort of like regret about that. But who knows? I mean, we got a couple more years for that. Doomsday's this year, Spider-Man's this year, uh
Supergirl.
Supergirl's this year. That's right. Do we have a
I
second?
just I just actually finished
Oh, Clayface is this year too, isn't it?
last
Clay.
week. Yes, at the end of the year.
Yeah, Clay. So
Yes.
yeah, that's our two DC. So that'll be our two DC and two Marvels, and
We got
then
Lanterns too. We got
Lanterns is the
three.
show. Lanterns is the show. Yep. I'm
Yeah,
excited for
so
Lanterns. Is Lanterns the only DC show?
to my knowledge, yes. Unless
Okay.
I think they were planning originally a dynamic duo movie that was going to be animated, and I think they got messy of what they wanted to do, so they set it back.
Oh, okay. And then we have Wonder Man coming up in a couple weeks here, or in a week. Uh, I'm excited for that because at the first teaser was like I will say this is the first time in a while that a second trailer I did watch, because I'd already decided to watch it, but I did watch the
Yeah,
second trailer, and then like they showed him like exhibiting his abilities a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, so this isn't just like a parody of a, like it kind of, the first teaser made it seem like it was going to be like a parody of the notion of Wonder Man.
yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, cool. He actually does have powers, and it's gonna be part of the story. So I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm actually even more excited to see how it plays in. But I think that's really all we're getting from Marvel, right? There's nothing. Wonder Man and
I
no,
don't think
I
they
think
plan. We got yeah, because Spider-Man is going to be in between or before
yeah.
Doomsday. I don't think they have anything currently. At least they haven't announced anything after.
Let me see what the rap has to
So they
say.
might not go
Oh,
from one to
WandaVision.
the.
WandaVision, duh. Suppose is this real? This may be.
I don't think I don't. I haven't heard anything from a real source that WandaVision 2. Just because I think
Sorry, not WandaVision. I meant Vision Quest. Vision Quest is this year. Vision Quest, I think, is
I
right.
haven't heard of that.
It's like the follow-up. It's him trying to like, I think it's gonna be him. It's like the third one in the trilogy. It'll be Agatha, Billy, and Vision trying to find Tommy. That's
I don't
the
think they're gonna. The only reason I say they probably won't do a TV show like that is because it's probably gonna be playing a big part in Doomsday. With
no. I mean, this
finding.
is the show that I'm. This is like this is confirmed. This isn't like
Okay.
yeah, no, this is for sure happening. They just don't have a. I don't think they have a release date yet. I thought it was. It says fall 2026. Okay. Uh, and then obviously X-Men 97 season 2. Daredevil Born Again
Yeah.
season 2 is saying March. So it is done filming. Okay. But it's
Okay.
all
So
this
yeah,
is
that
the rap is also saying a Punisher special presentation.
yes,
So like
Punisher is supposed to
I
get
didn't realize that.
his yeah, because at the end of Daredevil season, they show where Punisher ends up by the end of that.
Oh, okay.
And they kind of like, hey, this is where he's going to start out at. This is where he's at, and then go
Okay.
from there.
That makes
They've
sense.
hinted at that a few times.
I wonder if that's like the step to get him to Spider-Man because he's in Brand New Day. So that'll be
Probably.
interesting. That'll be interesting. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. The stuff's getting better. The stuff's getting more interesting. DC especially, man. Like I haven't been this excited about DC since probably since they announced Batman vs Superman. And then I saw Batman vs Superman. I was real mad.
It was terrible.
Real mad. Real mad.
I wanted Batman to be so good, and I'm just like, what did I
But
get?
don't get me wrong, I loved Batfleck. Batfleck by himself, the fighting, the like great Batman, and I think really I liked his Bruce Wayne as well. I believe for myself he is the best Batman Bruce Wayne combination we got. Several other better Batman, several other better Bruce Waynes, but both I think he takes the cake. But
Oh,
like
100%.
the
It just sucked that
story
the
was
writing
fucking
kind of
trash.
yeah.
The story was garbage. I fucking man, I really wanted that to be good, but it's like the whole Martha thing was dumb. The like Superman like trying to
I
get
think
Batman's
so.
help, but then
I
like
think it
Batman just
was
not
yeah.
listening.
So the Martha part I thought was for a comic book fan, like I think that was kind of smart, but the execution of it was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that was stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Like if he had
oh,
just like stopped and been like,
most people don't just put the dots together.
yeah,
And you're like, oh, I
if he had
completely forgot about
if
that.
he had just stopped and then like been like, what why did you just say that name? Like just like
Why'd you
stop.
say what?
Like dead stop. Turn off the music, turn off the fucking weapon. Why did you just say that name? But not that, why did you say that name? I was like, what the fuck?
Well, and to me, Lois shouldn't have come in to say that. That should have been Superman. Like, that's my mom's name.
Right,
And it'd be
right.
like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Like, would have made a better connection than
yeah.
just whatever that was.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, you
there's
guys should have
there's
said.
a lot of problems with that movie. Like honestly, but I will say I will give it the one credit that I've given any movie from the Snyderverse, and that is it's the one time that I can recall to date that the musical beat also mattered to me, and that's when Wonder Woman shows up. Those fucking guitars hit, bro. Man, that moment hit so hard for me. I love that.
That
Yeah,
theme
when she
was
drops and the
perfect.
theme hits, I was like that. But like literally, everyone's like, "Oh, the music's so good in like Man of Steel," and I was like, I could not tell you a single moment of music from Man of Steel because I don't like it doesn't. It just it like works the scene. It does what it does for the movie, but like I don't care. Even as musical as Guardians is one, and that's just like the dance sequence
Yeah,
at the beginning. Like other than that, like the music itself for me very rarely is like notable. Like I don't remember the music in the scene. It just the scene is good, and if they do a good job with the music and sound, obviously that's helps the scene. But
yeah.
to me, when that's done well, you remember the whole thing. You're not like holy shit the music, right? Like that Wonder Woman moment, the like her drop and the music hitting, incredible. The rest of that scene was shit. Because even her fighting, like, it was like okay graphics or whatever. But then just like then like a minute later, Superman dies. So like really it sours the whole scene as it is. But just that moment, man, like just that entrance was so fucking iconic. Like I loved her. I loved her movie. And then Wonder Woman 84 was dog shit.
I was so hoping it would be better, and then I'm watching going,
Mm-mm.
nope,
Nope.
just nope.
I
It did
dislike that
not go
movie.
anywhere.
And it's so
Yeah,
to
uh,
to
uh,
looking forward to 2026, we have those movies, those shows, and then we of course have Flurry issue 3. Is there anything else coming from Fate Comics and or Unparalleled Comics this year?
uh, there we are aiming in total for the goal is in total 9 Kickstarters. So 9 different
In
books
2026?
in 2026.
Woo, okay.
That is the goal. We'll see where that goes, but the first one, to my knowledge, now I'd have to keep uh, making sure of this because we've had a few bumps already.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
their series Dragonfly is supposed to be completely done trade wise,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's Kickstarter. I don't know that information of when, but that's supposed to be first on the block.
Okay.
Flurry is supposed to be somewhere in April for its
Okay.
Kickstarter. That way we can get beats out to stores before we move forward.
Awesome.
But yeah, there's a lot of books that we're aiming to do, but the biggest thing is we're this year we're trying to push more marketing and everything first along with the books.
No, of course.
So that's a big goal for us this year.
Well, reach you got me as a resource, sir, and I've got a bunch of friends on TikTok and on Instagram that would love to take a look at your books and take a look at your stuff. So let me know. I've got a couple of the podcasts I can direct you to. So yeah, we can get you out some marketing for sure.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'll always open my schedule at any podcast,
Outstanding, outstanding.
anybody. I'm always here. So
All right, so hit the people with where they can find you on the internet.
uh you can find me on the Facebook Fate Comics. That's I think it's still there. So there's that. There's TikTok. Uh it's at Unparalleled Fate Comics. And also I have my own personal one, which you know very well. It's just Thomas Moran, comic writer. I think it's at the All Night Writer, I believe. So
Yeah,
I don't know the names too well, but um,
no, that's
no, I try to be on as many socials as possible. So
For your current catalog, is that still on fakecomics.com, or is the catalog now on the Unparalleled Comics website? How can people purchase what you already have?
Right now, I am moving everything physical wise over to TikTok. Digital, I'm still figuring that out with Unparalleled
Okay.
to try and get that market going. Once we know that, we'll have videos, of course, showing up. But for now, I'm just moving everything over to TikTok, and
So
I have,
straightforward TikTok shop. All right.
yeah, I have the roommates on there,
Nice.
webtoon turned physical, and I also have at least this beats cover for #1 on there as well.
Nice.
Currently,
Nice. Fantastic. All right. Well, definitely make sure you guys check out Fake Comics and on TikTok and get those books if you're interested. Beats is about a deaf woman who controls sound. Figure that out. Think about how
mute,
interesting it mute. Sorry, man.
mute. I'm gonna
Mute.
correct you.
That's
Mute.
cute. No, please do. Please do correct me. She's a mute woman that controls sound. Very interesting stuff. Lovely. Like the artwork's great. The narrative's really interesting. Super excited about that. So that's the most current series. Harrier, she was a cop and she's a superhero now. Do I got
She's
that right?
still a cop, but
Still a cop. Okay.
she works with she works also with the government with uh a battle, basically like a Black Panther battle suit that lets her do all the superhero things.
Nice, nice. And then Flurry is our newcomer, our young hero on the deck, and that'll be our issue 3 coming this year in April.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, make sure you guys check that out. As always, I am Dalibor Zujovic, the Indie Hype Man. You can find me on TikTok at the Indie Hype Man, or I'm sorry, at Indie Hype Man, at the Dalibor Zujovic on Instagram, and at Indie Hype Man on Blue Sky, on YouTube, of course. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
She can get dangerous from an Xavier. All up in your head, you ain't got that